You admit. Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. Thanks, Miss Cindy. You're muted now. Good morning. Okay, I think I'm set up. Let's see. So, oh, hang on. Let me let some people in. Admit. Admit. I'm letting everyone in. Got it. Admit. Let's see if that works. Uh, allow. Allow. Ooh, what does this mean? Cancel. They're changing some things on Zoom, so they're adding some stuff. But okay, just one more check. So Cindy, you can hear me fine? Okay, awesome. All right. What time is it? Looks like it is 10:31. Admit. This is a big mess and jumble of everything that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use some quilt clips today. And you know what? I'm on my, okay, there's Miss Lila. Good morning. We sell these at the store, and if you want to get them, I think we're doing them 2 for 1. So just say 2 for 1, please, if you want to get those. And I think these just make it easier to manage all your fabric. I have these too. They sell all different kinds of what are these quilt clips? So when you roll it up in your quilting, it helps you manage it a little bit better. So I'll be using probably both of these today. Let me put those to the side. I'm going to be using my George ruler. I keep thinking I should bring these in, and then I don't because I have to order them from Hoop Sisters. So if you want to get one of these, just order it directly from Hoop Sisters. I think that's like the easiest thing that you can do. What if you don't have this? What this does is when we fold back our fabric and we cut, it kind of protects that. Just use a regular quilt ruler and be extra careful. I'll do a cut without this so you can see it's totally possible. Even with this, I've cut my fold before because I'm so aggressive about it. I'm like, I want it to be as close as possible, and I'll pull it back, and then I've cut my fabric before. If you are using this, you need to be using a 60 millimeter ruler. So, but I'll show you how to use this. And if you want to get one, you can, like I said, order it directly from Hoop Sisters. I am going to be using lots of, this is like 1 inch and 1.25 inch, and I don't care if it's white or if it's cream. I'm just going to be using all of these scraps. I keep every last bit of everything, and then I do have more fabric here in case I need to cut more. So I'm using, I like 1.25. It calls for 1 inch, but I like a little bit longer so it can get kind of stitched down and then it doesn't get pushed. Because sometimes when you put the 1 inch down, it kind of pushes over and it pushes to the left and pushes to the right. So I like to cut it 1.25 inch. Now, the other stuff you're going to need is you are going to need, because we are going to be doing the little inner borders here, right here, those are going to be your 1.5s when you're done. And then when you sew it in, there's a 1/4 inch seam on either side. So it's going to be 1 inch is the final size when it's sewn in. And then we're going to be doing the outer border. Here are our outer borders. I would show you my Miki Kim sample, but I didn't even think about bringing it home. So these are going to be the outer borders that we're going to be doing in this fabric or whatever fabric you want. You don't have to use this. So you did have some pre-class prep where I wanted you to, oh, my cord's stuck. Your pre-class prep was one piece that wasn't going to be quite as long. Like I cut off, what did I cut off? Like 5 or 6 or 10 inches off of this because you're only going to need, we're going to do 4 at a time in this one piece. Okay. And those only have to be, I measured this morning, 24.5 inches because they're going to go right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to go on the inside. Okay. So right here where I don't have anything, that's where they're going to go. So 24.5 inches, but we might as well make them a little bit bigger so that you have a little bit off of the edges. I rather have them be a little bit bigger than just right or not big enough because I whack it. I know you're not supposed to, but I just sew it on and I just whack it off on the sides because I don't feel like measuring in 3 spots. I know that's really lazy, but did you see mine at the store? It's perfect. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to be whacking it. Okay. And then, what did I want to tell you? So we're going to do those 4 in one hooping, and that's why this piece, this first piece can be a little bit shorter. So even if you take off 10 inches, that's still going to leave you about 35 inches. So that's going to be our first piece. So batting cut to size, this is whacked a little bit on the end. All right. Then what we're going to do, hopefully this makes sense to you, and I'll try and take my time. Then what we're going to do is you take that extra, the extra 10 inches, and you sew it on to this other piece. So you should have gotten 1/2 yard of this, and I just cut it straight down the middle. So then I had 9 inches, 9 inches with the fabric. Take that end, and I sewed it on here. And actually, I was like, oh, I should have maybe matched my diagonals. I didn't. I just sewed it on. That's why it looks like this. So if you want to take some time and some care, you could match that. It'll look better. I wasn't even thinking of it. I just put it on and sewed it and then opened it up and I was like, oh, that doesn't look great, but you're not even going to notice it. You're not even going to notice it. 2 of these are going to be smaller anyways. So when we put this in, so these we're going to do 4 all the same size, same length. These, we're going to do 2 of them that need to go onto the top. Once we sew these in here, those 4 all the same. Then we're going to put the sides on. So then we'll sew the little mini sides on, and then we'll put the top on. So that's why you don't have this one right here. That's going to be the top. So it's got to be an inch longer after you put the sides on. So here we go. So these sides right here are going to be about 44.5 inches. It's just not quite long enough, the width of the fabric. So we're going to add a little bit onto the sides. And then once you put the sides on, that's going to make them an inch longer right here and here, the sides. So we're going to put those on. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And I wrote down here, we're going to make those about 30 inches, just so you're going to have a little extra instead of, and that's overkill, but let's have a little bit more than a little bit less. You can put it on there and just whack it. And then the sides, about 44.5 inches, but oh no, top to bottom. These top to bottom are going to be about 30. No, that's not right. Top and bottom. So we'll make those about 30 inches. Really, all you're going to need is about 26.5 inches. 26.5 inches, but let's do 30 so we can whack off the sides. Am I confusing you guys? Hopefully not. And then these, once you put everything all together, it's about 44.5 inches, but we're going to make it a little bit longer. All right, that's going to be the diagonals. So you have one longer piece and one that's not quite so long. These will be your horizontals.
Jeannie, how
Okay.
much of the backing did we need to have? Because it didn't come in my kit, remember? So how much do I need to buy of the backing?
Yard and a half is what is recommended, but I'm just using all of my scraps and I'll just sew them all together. I sew my biggest pieces together, and I wanted to record one of those when I was in Salt Lake and I just didn't have time. So over Christmas break, I will definitely record, like, I'll just do a day where I just live feed and I sew it all together and you can see how ridiculous it is. I'll put on like a good podcast and I just start cutting it and sewing it and fitting it together and then whacking off the sides. And so, but it calls for a yard and a half of whatever fabric you want to put in the back. Okay. All right. That's going to be for the diagonal inners, the sides, and then the little tops. And then this, what I did with this is, again, you got half a yard of this. I cut it right down the middle. So I had 9 inches, 9 inches, and I sewed them together. I just sew those two together and we're just going to stitch the whole thing. And then we're going to stitch the whole thing. And then you can just cut them apart. So if you have a 6x10 hoop and you're doing this, quite honestly, I would just take these two pieces and I would have done the same thing with this. I would have just cut it 9 inches long, sewn together. So two pieces, two width of fabric, 9 by width of fabrics are sewn together. And I would run three because I think you can only fit three. I would just keep stitching those threes and I would just cut them and sew them together wherever they fit. When I did this one, I actually did one of my folds where I cut I like cut the wrong side. And I was like, whatever. I just sewed it all together. You can't even tell. I don't think you can even look at it and see where I did that. But I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if I had a 6x10 hoop, I would just sew them. I would just do three at a time and just do them the whole length of the two widths of fabric and then just cut it where I need it and then sew it together if I need to. And I think that would be totally the easiest way to do it. Nobody's going to see. They're not going to see that you had maybe one that you sewed together here that had like a longer piece and one shorter piece. Not going to see it. I think that would be the easiest way. Any questions? Here's my embellishment kit. Haven't sewn this together, so I haven't put all my embellishments on yet. I'm going to be using my big old spray box for a lot of this because we're going to have longer pieces. So I'm going to put this on my table. I am using my 7x12 magnetic hoop, which I actually have over there. I'm going to go hoop up over there. I'll take this over to that other side. And then these are the two colors that Kimberbell chose. So I think you're going to be doing this in the plaid and you're going to be, actually, I don't know. Let's look because I haven't done it yet. And I tried to record, but it was an ultimate fail. And that's why you're only going to have this live session. And it did say it was recording. Hang on a second. Let me look one more time just to make sure. Yes, it is recording.
Actually,
Hang
Jenny,
on.
one of the other ones when I was going back, I think it was September, I could only find one recording of it instead of the two. Would that be right?
That might be right. I think I
Okay.
might have had one. There might be something, but you had everything, right? Like September, but you didn't have a live or you didn't have a
Yeah,
pre-recorded, is what
yeah,
you're
had
saying?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I did have one thing where I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So I was really thankful that they were pre-recorded. So yes, there
Okay.
may be one class that I missed. And then
Yeah.
this is the only other one that you're not having the pre-recorded because like I said, it took me all day and I just don't have enough time to spend another whole day pre-recording.
Yeah.
So this is going to be it.
Okay. No, that's fine. Just checking.
Yeah, I try, and then every once in a while I have an ultimate fail. Okay, so the avocado is what we're going to be using. This avocado for the plaid, and then outer borders. Yes, this one is the peppermint is what they're recommending for the outer borders, which is going to be the this. Oh, and it goes so well with like the little centers of the flowers. So it'll be perfect. So we are going to start off with the avocado. Let's see how much we can get through. I'm going to go hoop at the other station. I do have to take my phone off of here and I'm going to go move it over there. You're going to see my hand. This is how high tech we are here at A1 Vacuum and Sewing. Here we go. Okay. Let me grab my stuff so now I can come over and hoop. Other things, you know what? I'm not going to need this right now, but I really think my stuff looks pretty darn good, but I really spend time on the prep, the cutting to make sure we have the best tools, and then the pressing. And I think the pressing makes a huge difference. I'm not going to get to this. We're just going to do the borders, but I will be using my pressing bars. Which one should you get? Doesn't make a difference. I like, the other thing that's nice about this is it is your pressing bar. It is also your clapper. But I usually clapper when it's on my pressing bar, so I don't know. But I just what do I use? I use literally whatever I can find because I just pick stuff up and I take it all over my room. And next thing you know, I don't know where it is. So I just like having a lot of everything because I'm always looking. All right, let me grab my muslin. All right, hang on. This, trying to make sure I have everything. I'm going to be using my 7 by 12 for most of this. And I don't know, it's just a great size. When I do the Sweetheart Street, I'm going to use my 9.5 by 14. What if you don't have a 9.5 by 14? Just use your 8 by 12. You just might have to choose a design that's going to be a little bit shorter, but I'm going to use my 9.5 by 14. At least this is the idea in my head because I do have to practice it. But I think I'm going to use my 9.5 by 14 and one piece of cutaway, heavy cutaway. Right now for this, and if it comes out great, then we'll try and do it that way. But I'm always trying to find the best way to do the borders that's going to be the easiest for you and for me. All right. So I'm going to just put this on here. I'm going to start with mine. So use whatever hoop you want right now. I'm going to just pull my hand down here to make this taut. I would say taut, not tight. You don't want to stretch it and then take it out of the hoop and have it pucker up. So you never want to overstretch your fabric. And again, I'm using muslin. People are always like, why do you use muslin? Well, Nikki Brazel showed me this like years and years ago, and she used it in her Anita Good quilts. And I was like, it just felt so nice and just I just like the way more than anything, I like the way it feels. It just like feels like more pliable, less plasticky than using the no-show. I like it that you can just pull off one magnet and just like redo it if you have like one area that there's going to be a pucker. because I do use my snap hoops, but I only use my snap hoops for quilting because I find like you put it down and then it's hard to get the puckers out. Whereas this, you can just pull one off, fix one area. So I like these if I'm doing embroidery. I like snap hoops, which are the big green ones, the Dime Monster snap hoops for quilting, because you just take it off, move your quilt, put it on, and then pull out the wrinkles. It's hard to pull out the wrinkles with your snap hoop when you're using just something really thin. So, okay, this is what I'm going to be using. We are going to be doing the batting placement lines, the tack down, and the quilting is what we're going to be stitching out. So let's come over to the machine. Hang on, let me grab my filming arm. You guys have any questions yet? I thought I'd start out with my quick little mini lesson. If you have an Avenir or a Luminaire or a Radiance, as to how you can get rid of some designs. I already got rid of some of them, but do not leave your machine overloaded with designs. Ooh, I have a pink bobbin in here. Let me
Hey,
grab one
Jeannie,
before. Yes,
in the instructions, it said something about if you want to use SF 101 on the back. Is that
I didn't.
okay? And it looks
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
Yeah, oh, totally. Like I honestly really never do that. I just always just quilt, and I think it comes out totally fine. So, but that's up to you if you want to put on the SF 101. I go, oh, it comes out great. Why put SF 101? You know what? The SF 101 is going to be great to add body, and then it's also going to be great to reduce shadowing. But I guess I could have used it on the lighter fabric. What's the other one? Yeah, I usually don't use the SF 101. I just I'm gonna go ahead and slide this on too. Good question though. Remember, this is an episode of Lazy Stitcher, Lazy Embroiderer, and I'm like, if I don't need it, then I won't do it. And but if you love it and you want that extra body and you want your fabric to feel more even because everything else has SF 101, put it on. But if you look at mine, the one that I did, the Miki Kim one, I didn't use any SF 101, and I rarely use it for the borders. I did. Did I even? I don't think I even ironed it. I don't think I ironed it beforehand. I was gonna say I always iron it, but then I don't think I did. I think I ironed these pieces. Okay, I'm going to get rid of some of my designs first. So, in your memory, don't leave it loaded up with designs. Like, I feel like that can slow down your processor, although these have big processors, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I did mine via design to database transfer. So let me start fresh. So if I go into my embroidery and then I go to the pocket, for design database transfer because I have stopped using USBs. Redid the video and it was more detailed, like showing you how to load your machines, how to take them off and do all of that. Try it. I want you to challenge yourself to try it because I was very resistant to giving up my USBs, but I would never go back to having to use those anymore because you know what? I lost them all the time. I didn't know where my designs were. I have everything on my computer. If you're doing design database transfer, it's from your computer to your machine, and you cannot, is that program is not made for Macs. It's only for, I guess, PCs. PCs. Okay, so this is where I go. I'm going to touch this. And I did get rid of most of them, but I'm going to get rid of the other ones that I want. These are from Enchanted. You have to touch this button down here. And if it's time for you to clean out your design database transfer or your machine saved ones, you can do that now. I'm just going to touch this right here, and I'm going to highlight all the ones I want to get rid of. But you do have to have this button highlighted to delete. And what else? I don't need that. I'm done. These are all the quilting designs for Enchanted, and I'm going to keep all the rest. That's what we're going to be using today. And then I'm just going to touch the trash can. Is it okay to delete? Yes. And then these, what I wanted you to have loaded, and I think I put that in your emails, I was like, load all your 2-inch and all your 1-inch designs. So that way you can pick as we go. So this is all I have in here. I have to deselect this if I want to select a design to embroider. Now that it's white, now I can choose my designs to embroider. So let's talk about which ones you're going to use. I need 24.5 inches. So I can just do multiples. So I could do my 12 and 12. That's not big enough, right? So I could do 10 inch, 10 inch, and a 7 inch. That would work. That would give me 27 inches, which would be totally sufficient. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. A 10, a 10, a grouping 4 10s, and then another grouping of 4 10s. So that'll give me 10, 20, and then a grouping of sevens, and that'll give me 27 inches, which will be plenty to cover the 24.5 inch that I need to go over the horizontals. Everyone good with that? So if you're doing your 9.5 by 14 inch hoop, do two 14s. That's the nice thing about the bigger hoops. You don't have to do as many hoopings. Um, if you are doing what other multiples would be really good, you could do, because if I do 12s, then I'll have to do 12, 12, that's 24, and then I'll still have to do a 7, and then that's kind of overkill. Then I'll have 31 inches. So I'm looking for my 10s. So we're doing the skinnies first. So I'm going to just put it up here. Nope, that's my 7. And do you see how it's not really, it's not really, it's not really 7. It's going to be your 1 by 7, but it's not really 7 inches. So maybe I should do 10, 10, and 10 because look, my 10s, nope, that's not really a 12. It's 11.75. So keep that in mind. Did I not load all the right designs? Oh, hello. Where do I have different ones, like not all the right ones? Yeah, I don't even know if I loaded my 10. Those are the 6s. It looks like I have only 2 of them, but multiples of them. All right, sorry about that, guys. I looked at it last night and I was like, oh, I have them all loaded. Let me show you my design database transfers. Good thing for me to show you anyways. So I'm going to go in here to my design database transfer, which I put onto my desktop. I'm going to go to my quilting design. Sorry about that. Honestly, I looked last night just to make sure I had everything, but this can be our little mini lesson. I'm looking for, let me get out of here. You have to know how you have everything organized. I have it over here as Digital Dealer 2025. I'm going to my December. Where's my background quilting? Okay, here. So I want my 10s and my 1 inch by 10 inch, and I didn't have the 14 either, so I'm going to put both of these. Actually, I needed to put my sewing machine first, which is my Evie. I'm at home right now, so this one, I'm going to hit my down arrow, and then I'm going to send to my machine. Machine has to be on, and it's sent over. That's how easy it was. Sorry about that. Maybe it was just meant to happen that way because I was meant to give you a little design database mini lesson. Okay, I have to return out of here to kind of refresh. Go back in. And there they are right there. What? Okay, I did push. I'm sure maybe they're down. I am befuddled. Hang on.
What one are we looking for? The 2 inch
I'm
by
looking for
10 or
the 10. No, we're doing the skinnies.
the 1 inch? Okay.
We're doing the skinnies right now. Hang on. I'm going to check my size right here. Maybe I have. I'm going to touch that and come up here to properties. Or hang on. Yeah, mine won't load for some reason. Give me 1 second. Let me just fix this. You guys take a coffee break. Let me open this up here. Where is my... And you guys could be loading whatever's going to work best for your hoop. Let me open this up and see why it's not loading for me. This is my 1 by 10. Oh, this is interesting. So when I touch that to my 1 by 10 and I look at it, look at the size it's giving me. It's giving me 1.5 by 6.1. So yeah, is that what you were talking about? And that means I sent you the wrong thing, Miss Donna? I'm just going to touch these and see what they're giving me. That's right. That is the 1 by 14 is giving me the 1.5 by 11. Did you guys have the same thing happen?
Yeah, when I load my 1 inch by 10 inch, it shows 1.5 by 6.12.
Got it. Okay. No worries. Because you know what we're going to do is we're just going to shorten a little bit. Okay. So that's what you were talking about, Donna. I was, when I sent it to you, I just looked at the file and I was like, okay, here's the 1 by 10. So yes. All right. So let's go ahead and the issue is if you have a 6 by 10 hoop, you can't load anything bigger. If you have a hoop that's bigger, that like let's say you can go all the way up to you have an Avenir or you have a Pathfinder, you have something that will let you load up to a 12 inch. We can put in this one, which is 11.75, and we can shrink it. Okay. But you can't put something bigger than your embroidery field into your 6 by 10. So I think what you would have to do is you would have to take the design that is the 6 inch, and you might have to put it in and stretch it. Does that make sense? But that's a lot of stretching that you're going to have to do with that. You'd have to put that in, set it, choose your hoop size. Let's choose our hoop size. Well, I'm glad I use the 11.75, so I didn't even notice that was going on. So I'm going to choose my hoop size. I'm going to be using my 7 by 12 hoop. I'm going to change my speed. I turned it down because I was using that hollow shimmer thread, and the default's going to be 800 stitches per minute. Everything else looks good here. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. You'll have to put it in there. Oh, and you know what? On your 6 by 10, you can't even stretch it that big. You can only go 20. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to think of what else I could do. Because you could go ahead and grow it. On some of the machines, you can redigitize it. On any of the 6 by 10s, you can only grow it by about 20%, and we even wouldn't want to do that. You would just want to stretch it because you don't want to make it wider. But you're only going to be able to go up to 7.34. So maybe that's what you want to do, and you're going to have to do that how many times? 4 times. Okay. So if you're on the 6 by 10, I would put this design in the one that was whatever 6.12 inches, and then you're just going to stretch it, and that's going to give you 7.34 times 4 is going to give you over like 28 inches. So 28, maybe 29, over 29 inches. So I would do that. You're going to do it 4 times, or you're just going to keep doing it over and over and over again. Sorry, I don't know what else to tell you until we're able to talk to Kimberbell. And does anyone have a 10-inch design? Does anyone, or you guys all have what I have?
Jeannie, I got lost.
I know, I'm talking a lot of numbers. Is anyone able to load a 1 inch by 10-inch design where it comes up with that 10 inches in length?
I haven't even opened mine, so I don't know.
Okay, I'll reach out to Kimberbell. I mean, and you might want to too, but I'll let them know that when I load the 1 by 10, it doesn't show up as 1 by 10. Does that make sense? Like when I'm going here
Yeah.
to my 1 by 10, here I'm going to hover it over here and it'll tell me the size. It is only giving me the 1.5. It only loads as a 1.5 by 6.1 inches, is what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah.
That's mine too, also.
mine too.
Yeah. Okay. So we're all on the same page. I didn't realize that. Donna had sent me a note, but I just resent her this, but I never opened it to see what size it actually was. So there's obviously wait, Elizabeth, what did you just say? When I hover it over the 1 by 14, look, you don't even get the 14 inches. You only get 1.5 by 11.7. So it looks like those are the two sizes that everyone's getting.
Did everybody download it from yours? Because maybe if you do
No,
it from
no.
Kimberbell directly,
Yeah, you guys are loading it from Kimberbell directly.
yeah,
I don't send this out to anybody. What I
yeah,
got was from Kimberbell. I'm surprised this hasn't come up.
yeah.
Poor Donna, she tried to tell me and I was like, I just I just looked at the file name and I'm sorry. I assumed that that was the size you were going to get. Okay. So I saw in Kimberbell they're saying it's not a mistake. That's interesting, right? I don't know. I'm going to call my rep and then I will talk to her about it because
If you
to
if
me,
you
that's
look if you look on the page that comes with the file that shows the pictures of all the
yeah.
different sizes, the 1 by 7 and 1 by 10 are identical, and the 1 by 12 and the 1 by 14 are identical. And I think it has to do with the repeat of the design.
Oh,
They
yeah, I
didn't
don't
want to
like,
shrink it in order to fit another repeat,
I
because
don't know.
they like to keep the sizes of the actual designs consistent so that you can use whatever tile and it will work.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I'm just like
I just
yeah,
rehoop it and do it as many times as I need to until it fills up my strip.
got it. Okay, well, I'm glad you shared that with me because, yeah, I guess that's what they want you to do is just do a combination of those. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'll leave the 12, but we can shrink it down if you want so you can do those 3 hoopings. But let's do this. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go home. Thank you for reading the instructions.
See,
For
I'm
reading the
confused
instructions.
anyway because I haven't done any of this, so I don't even know what you're doing.
Okay,
Wait,
I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to pull the bigger of the ones, so the 11.75, and I'm going to go ahead and set that. And
Is that
what
the 14 then? Is that the 1 inch by, or which
yeah,
one?
whichever one comes out to that size. So it looks like when you put in either the 12 or the 14, this is the size that you're going to get. So you could
Okay.
touch either one of them, and that's the size that you're going to get. I'm going to do this in 3 repeats of 10. So you can either leave it like this if you want. You know what? I'll just leave it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and touch edit. These are my move arrows. You're either going to touch that or the word move. I'm going to touch it. I'm going to move this one all the way to the left. Make sure you have your hoop size selected because you want to go all the way to the very edge. You need to go all the way to the edge if you're going to fit 4 at a time. All right, so I'm in there, but look what happens if I go 1 click outside, and I'm just gonna watch. It tells me to change to a larger embroidery frame. People go, but my design should fit. It does, but if you're using this hoop, I'm 1 click too far over. So how do you fix that? I'm just gonna go okay. My move arrows again, and I'm just going to go 1 click back, and now I'm inside my embroidery field. That's why it's so important to put that perimeter up for your workspace, okay? Because now when I say okay and go embroidery, it's ready to stitch, but I'm going to add the other ones. Now I'm going to add the other ones. If you have a 6 by 10, you're only going to be able to do 3 at a time. So I'm going to go edit, This is the easiest way to add another one. You're just going to hit make a copy. And then I'm going to go here to my move. I like to hit my center button so I know they're exactly in line. So I'm going to hit my center button and I'm going to scoot it to the left. We're going to play with the spacing between these before we start stitching. So I'm just going to do this for now. You need, if you're doing it this way, you're going to be trimming 1/8 of an inch into this dead space right here. So you need at least 1/4 of an inch in between. You'll have a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch when we space it. Okay, we're going to add another one. So I'm just going to go here, make a copy. Go to my move keys. I'm going to bring it in center. And then I'm going to move it to the right. So now we know we're exactly centered up and down. And then we're moving it to the right a little bit. Okay, don't worry about the spacing. We're going to play with that. We're going to add one more. And if you have a 6x10, then I think you can do 3 at a time. So you're going to be ready and you're just going to play with your spacing. So I'm going to go, okay. We're going to make a copy. And I wouldn't move it with your finger because sometimes you move the one behind it. So I'm going to hit my move keys. I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to move it to the right. Okay, now we're going to play with the spacing. Move it as far right as you can without going outside of your embroidery field. Let's see if I'm outside of my embroidery field. I think I'm right where I want to be. Yeah, it let me go. You know you're in your embroidery field if it lets you go to the next screen. I'm going to hit return though because I want to play with the spacing in between. This I won't have enough to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see this better. And once we do this once, don't worry about it. We're just going to save it. So you're just going to stitch it over and over again. We're not going to have to do it multiple times. I'm going to go to my magnification and let's go to 200%. And you guys can see like the spacing between, like I'm really close over here, further here. So I can't remember how I had it spaced before. I'm going to take this one and move it over a little bit. So again, let's go edit, move, and move this one over. You can use that little hash mark as point of reference. What if you don't have that hash mark? You can turn it on in your settings, or you can do the grid. Here's my settings. I like to leave it like this. My grids with the hash mark, the lines drive me a little crazy. It's too busy for me. So you can go ahead and pick whichever grid that you want. And if it's going to help you right now to do one of these, you can do that. If you did this, you don't have that little center red square. I have that selected. So that's why I have that. That's how you get it. Okay. I'm going to take this one, move it over. And I'm checking my point of reference right there. This one, maybe I'll move this over a little bit more. And then this, that looks pretty even. What do you think? How many marks? I'm going to move this one over a little bit more. That looks pretty even to me. And you could be more detailed and count the spaces, the blocks between. This has about 3. That one has 3. And that one doesn't have 3. So maybe I need to move this over a little bit more. Move that over 1. 1, 2. That's about 3, but do you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to get the spacing in between those pretty even. And, maybe I need to move this over to the right one. That'll be good. You'll have enough. I know because you need to cut 1/8 of an inch and the lines in between of each of these is 1/8 of an inch. Do you guys get what I'm doing? Are you set? Do you have your things spaced? Because this is how we're going to do it or how I'm going to do it. If you feel like that's too close for comfort, you could do 3 at a time. I just like to get this done as fast as possible. Hang on, I'm getting to my screen over here. Sorry, I'm hitting the filming arm because I'm climbing under it right now. All right. I feel like the spacing looks good here. I'm a little bit close right there, aren't I? I'm going to touch this, move it over to the right one. I'll leave that. Okay. Let me go back to 100%. And that's what it looks like. Any questions? Can I help anyone? And like I said, if you have a 6x10 hoop, maybe you're going to do, whoops, sorry, I'm trying to stabilize that, 3 of these at a time. Or you could be doing 2 at a time if you want and spread them out a little bit more if you want. But if you're up for it, I'm going to be doing 4 at a time. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and say okay. Well, I'm going to put this into memory right now in case something happens. So let me just go ahead and put it into memory. And I'm going to save it to my machine. You can save it anywhere you want. I'm going to save it to the machine. If I don't feel like doing this all at once, I can just go ahead and now, when I pull up the design, I'm going to pull it from my machine. And I'm going to go ahead and say embroidery. So I'm glad you guys told me that they said that wasn't a mistake, and I actually remember reading that somewhere. Because now I'm not going to call my rep and be like, "Excuse me, you guys made an oopsie," and just leave it. All right, this is doing each one separately. I'm going to color group as long as these aren't overlapping and the red lines aren't overlapping. I can color group them and do all my placements, all my tack downs, all my quilting at once. So to do that, I'm just going to go layout and I'm going to touch this button right here. This is in the screen from which you embroider. And now you're going to see it's doing all the placements, then the batting, tack down and trim, then the background fabric, tack down, and then no placement, and then the background tack down, and then the green is the quilting. Okay. We're going to do this step. We're going to do the batting placement. I cut mine to size, so I'm not going to be doing the trimming. I am going to tack the fabric down, and I am going to, no, we're doing these two. These two. I'm going to skip the background placement because I'm going to put down a whole piece of fabric. So I'm going to do the batting placement, the background tack down, and then the quilting. So it'll save us a little bit of time right here that we're not going to be doing that. Somebody asked, why do you cut your batting to size? Because look at all the time it saves you right here that you're not doing the batting tack down and trimming it as well. All righty.
Should
I
we
think we're
save
ready.
this one to memory?
It's already saved. You can save it. You have an opportunity to save it here or in the previous screen. It's saving the same thing.
But I mean, now that it's color grouped.
Oh, does it save the color grouping? Go ahead and save it. I don't know. If you know what happens, I don't know if it saves the color grouping because if we were to go out of this screen to the previous screen, you go, oh, I don't like the way that's spaced. It gets rid of the color group. And if you come back here, the color grouping's going to be gone. So I don't know if it saves the color grouping, but maybe it does. That's a good question. I like that, Miss Lori. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead and try it. See what it does.
Okay.
I'm going to grab my, hopefully and ask questions. I don't want to lose anybody. And if you are on a different machine or something, we can always talk about that as well. I'm going to go ahead and put in my avocado because you want to be able to see these lines. Let's thread her up. I think I put a brand new bobbin in there. What do I have in for a needle? I have an 8012 Microtex. I really go between my 7511 and my 8012 7511 anti-glue, and then my 8012 Microtex, and I will use those kind of interchangeably. So these, I love these. These are my 7511 Oregon needles. And then I use a lot of my 8012 Microtex, which I think is the most versatile needle out there. And here's my Microtex. So I think it's interesting that if you buy Schmetz cells, I'm going to go ahead and do this placement line. I think it's interesting that, yes.
Which one are you doing first? The one that you added on or the smaller one?
I'm stitching.
The fabric that you're putting on top. What length are you
using? We're doing the smaller one first. We're going to do the horizontal sashing that's going in between the sections.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for asking because I didn't tell you which. So yeah, I'm using the piece that I cut some of it off of. That's the shorter one is what I'm doing first. And we're going to do those 4 sashing pieces that go into the middle. Stitch it. What if you don't have color grouping? Just fast forward. You're going to just fast forward. You'll do one placement and the machine will stop, and then fast forward to you'll do the blue and then fast forward to all through this and back to the blue and fast forward. Or you can do, yeah, I would fast forward. I was going to say you could do just one strip at a time, but that doesn't really work with how we're doing it. You're going to have to fast forward. Does anyone need me to show them how to fast forward? Okay, I'm grabbing all my little 1-inchers. Here they are. I cut a whole bunch, so I was prepared for today. Okay, you don't want to, I almost fell backwards. Okay, I'm using this because, we want to spray. We have big pieces. And I don't care if they're super long or if you have short, I will abut. But keep in mind, I'm not going to be washing mine. Mine's going to get folded up and just put away. And then, hang on, somebody's coming. There we go. I'm going to
Did you
say
say those were 1 1/4? You cut yours a
I
little
do
bigger?
1 1/4.
Okay.
Although I might have some in my stash that were like 1 inch. I used to just cut them 1 inch, but I noticed that they kind of got pushed around and they would bunch up a little bit. So then I started cutting them 1 1/4. So, but I do have some here that might be from like long, long ago. I just pulled everything out that I could find that was like looked like 1 inch or 1 1/4. I feel for the bumpy side. I'm feeling for the bumpier side, and that's going to go down. Oop. Okay. Okay, placement stitch. Don't spray the whole thing. You don't want all that spray sticking everywhere. You're only doing whatever. If you're doing 7 inches, just spray about 7 inches. If you're doing 12 inches, then spray about 12 inches. So I'm doing the 11.75. So I'm going to go ahead and just, whoop. Oh my God. Sorry. Got a little heavy handed there. I really don't like to spray it too wildly. All right. And we're going to put this down. And we're not doing the background placement because I have a big piece of fabric that's going to go down. And I want you to stay right inside and kind of straddle that line. So you'll have a little bit on either side. Okay? Just go ahead and lay it down. I look from the underside so I can just make sure it's centered well.
Do you start right at the top or do you go a little above?
I'm going to start right at the top. You can go a little bit above. Okay, that's my first piece. Go ahead and lay them all down. Get rid of any dark threads. This is stuff that's left over from like quilt sandwiches and stuff that I chop off. So I might have some threads laying around. Whoop. Did you see that? Move this one. My video, like I got one where the stitching was it was bad. And then I looked and Momo was laying on my batting strips. So it couldn't move around. I was like, what's going on? Oh my God. And then it was just Momo. Ooh, wait. I laid it down with the sticky up. Are you guys so ready to be done with this? Because we've been looking at it for a year. I'm excited for it to be done. It looks so pretty. The other one looks so pretty, so.
Jenny, can you just explain again? Like it's got sticky on one side of the batting, has it?
Sticky on one side, the side that's going down right now to the muslin, I sprayed.
Okay,
Now I'm going to spray the fabric. The fabric's going to go down on top of this.
Okay, so
Okay.
when you're saying you were looking for the bumpy side, that's not
the
sticky
wrong
side.
side. So the wrong side of your batting is a little bit nubbier. And
Yeah.
that's what you want to go down on your fabric. It's dimpled out, and this is going to be dimpled in.
So you want to spray the dimpled
The
outside.
bumpy side. The bumpy
Yeah.
side goes down. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize, like, I probably had been like sewing and like using batting for like 10 years. And our free motion quilting instructor was like, there's a wrong and right side to your batting. I was like, really? Nobody's ever told me that. I didn't know. Okay, shorter piece. Grab the shorter piece. You're going to give it a shot of, if you're spraying, you can tape, you can do whatever you want. You can glue stick. I'm going to spray just about 12 inches and you're going to cover this whole thing. All right. Don't spray the whole thing. Oh, look, I didn't press. You should probably press, but I didn't. I'll just pull it like nice and taut as it's going down. All right, there we go. Go above. You want to go above. Don't put it right to the edge. Go above. Kind of center it. Don't just plop it down because if you're not set, try and get the top down first, and then you're going to kind of just press it down.
Like maybe a quarter of an inch above?
I'm like probably a half an inch. You're going to have plenty for the sides. I have like an inch on either side. Ooh, that's way too much. Here we go. I'm just kind of what am I? I'm liking it. You have so much fabric if you did it the way I did it. If you're skimping and you don't have enough fabric, make sure it's just maybe a quarter of an inch above. Okay. I'm gonna smooth it down. See how much I have on either side? I have like an inch on either side.
Okay, Jeannie, I'm doing it the lazy way.
Okay.
I
Isn't this
put
the lazy way?
the lazy way is I put a solid piece of batting down
Yes.
and then put my solid piece of material on top. And I got a Hoop Sisters trimmer by George
Yep.
that I'm gonna
Well,
use to trim it when I get done.
yeah, we're gonna use that too. We're
So,
going to use that. The reason I'm doing the strips is because I find it easier to use the strips to lay down when we do it the next time, so things are more aligned for me. But yeah, you could do one whole piece of batting if you want. You can go one whole piece.
and Mike's visiting, and
Hi, Mike.
no, he's not here. He's in the other room. He's hiding out. He's working on my 10 needle.
Yes.
We're doing a project and we're both doing it. So we're doing 2 blocks of each before we move to the next one.
Yay.
Yeah. So he's taken over my 10 needle for the day. And
All
yes,
right.
most of it. But
So
it's we did the recalibration on the Avenir.
yeah,
I couldn't get it to work. And I
I
gave
haven't done that. Can we, Cindy, why don't you reach out to us? Is it everything all set now?
I will find out today how it's calibrated.
Okay.
But we had to YouTube somebody else to do it
Yes.
because it kept saying put the sticker down. And I
Yes.
put the stickers down I thought we were supposed to use, and it wanted a blank.
Oh, the calibration, the white ones I've never used. If you don't mind, can we talk about this after? And
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about it after, and I'll call you and figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So, okay, after you go ahead and lay that down, we are going to skip this step because we put our batting down and we cut it to size. Even if you leave it in one piece, you don't even have to do this. Just lay down your batting all in one piece, your top all in one piece. And then to skip steps, we're going to go to this button right down here. And this is where you go forward and backwards. And we're going to skip. If you want, you can hit this. It's going to be 4 times in here and 4 times in the blue. Or you can touch on some of the machines. You can just touch inside. But I'm still in the blue. I want to get to the yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and press down, and press down. And then I'm in the yellow. And this line is really important because this is what you're going to fussy cut to. You're going to cut 1/8 of an inch outside of this, outside of the tack down line. All right. So now that you have that, does anyone need help? If you have that, I'm going to just
Jeannie,
go ahead and hit yes.
since I'm doing the whole thing like Cindy,
Okay.
I don't need to do the batting placement. because all my batting's going to be in there, right? So I just go to where you are right now after I put my stuff down.
You mean the batting tack down? You still want the batting placement so you know like where to lay down your batting. So you still
My
want the
batting,
batting.
my no, my batting's going to be the whole thing.
Oh, the whole hoop? Yeah. So you could lay down your fabric. I mean, just make sure that you're because it's over here kind of on the side. So make sure
Yeah.
you lay down your whole piece, lay down your fabric, and then you're gonna go ahead and skip to this step that I'm doing right now, the fourth one before the
Okay.
quilting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and stitch. While you're stitching, I would just, if you're like me and you didn't press, I'm going to go ahead and just give my fabric a little pull down here at the bottom so it's nice and taut, but not where I'm pulling it off of the where it's going, off of my hoop. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my one of my spatulas because I don't want you reaching in there. You know how tempting that is. So let me grab one of my, I just love these. I just love these for like just being an extra. Yeah, you could just go ahead and put it down. This batting's so thin, like I wouldn't do it with a high loft batting, but it's so thin that if it's in the seams, nobody notices. But this stitch is really important, like I said, because you are going to be fussy cutting to this. Like when we trim these, you're going to trim it 1/8 of an inch outside. And I know hopefully I'm not going too slow for you because I know I just want to make sure everyone gets this. And if you have questions, please ask. See, even on the screen, it looks like you're not going to have a lot of room in between, but we have plenty. We're going to trim 1/8 of an inch this way, 1/8 of an inch this way. So just make sure it looks evenly spaced. If you don't have 1/4 of an inch in between, you're not going to have the right amount to, you're not going to get, it's not going to be the right width for your finished piece. It needs to be 1.5 inches. These are going to be 1.5 inches and they'll sew down to, um, 1 inch. I did try really hard to do this where you just left your muslin all in one piece. You're batting, you're backing everything, and it's just easier to trim it, like what we're going to do next before when we go to the next section for placement. Okay, now you're just going to do the quilting stitch. So I'm just going to hit start. And then we're going to trim it. And then we're going to do another placement line. And then we'll put this down.
Actually, I wish Brother would make a smaller one of this hoop because
They,
the
they,
4x4, or they had a 4x7, but it's not for these hoops. It's a clip-on one.
oh, okay. Well, there's the 5x7.
Yeah, I've got that one, but just for like small things sometimes, I don't really like I said, I prefer these hoops as well for embroidery.
Yes.
It's so much easier, and I thought I'm just using the normal one that comes with the machine. I just wish they had the small magnetic ones.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because they make that is it the 4x7 and they make it for like a 5x7 clip on? Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
like what you're saying.
yeah, because I ordered the 4x7 thinking it was the slide on, and it's not. And I thought,
Oh no.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
my older machines, but it's not even the same as the older machines. It's the modern clip-on one,
Yes.
I said.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would be, I wish they made it in every size. I love
Yeah,
these hoops. I know they're pricey, but I feel like they're just easy and I don't have to size and like push
yeah.
everything down. I really like the magnetic ones.
And they line up perfectly all the time. You don't have to fiddle with it to line them up.
They're
Yeah, the magnets
great.
go. Yeah. Jenny, did you say that you had any of the fabric for the Candy Lane?
Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, still have kits for that. We
Do
cut the kit.
you?
Yeah,
Oh,
so if you need, we cut kits for all of not all of them, but most of the older projects. We have kits for that. So if you look on our website, there might be substitutions at this point because they've discontinued a lot of fabric. So we will make substitutions, but we'll note those substitutions. And for the most part, we substitute other Kimberbell fabric.
okay. I might have a look at that then.
Yeah, we have the Candy Cane Lane kits.
Yeah, because I've just been able to get the designs. They
So
just,
cute.
yeah. So,
How are we doing? Does anyone need any help? Miss Not Lila, you're gonna have a big box of fun coming to you. A lot of you do. A lot of you are gonna have big boxes of fun. I'm gonna work really hard this weekend to get everything out. I'm hoping my mistletoe kits show up. So cute. Okay, I'm gonna get my ruler by George, my 60 millimeter rotary cutter, which I don't even see. Where is it? Oh, I see it. 60.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
my understanding of the George ruler is you
Yep.
do your whole thing, you get your size, and after you cut it to size, then you use the ruler to get rid of your extra batting and your extra stabilizer.
I don't think so. Because we're going to cut this off of the muslin. So maybe I'm not sure. I'll show you
Yeah.
how I'm doing it and maybe,
Okay.
and there absolutely can be better ways. But this
Okay.
is what I'm finding to be the easiest because I was trying to keep my muslin all in one piece. It's so much easier to cut it and then place and then do your placement line. So maybe if you're trying to keep your muslin all in one piece, but if you're trying to do it easy, then we're going to do it like this. I'm going to go ahead and slide it off. Let's come back over here. Oop, hang on. Switching to my tripod. Okie dokie. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this because who wants to cut on their wool mats? Not I. I'm I'm going to take this all off. Patrick's not letting me buy bubbly water anymore. I'm a hypocrite. I try to save everything I can, but then when it comes to bubbly water, I like it in the can because I like the flavored one. I like the not and it just the grapefruit one. And he's like, no, because it's too wasteful. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So I've been bubbling my own water, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. I just love bubbly water. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is so I cut my fabric. There was one time, and every time I make a mistake like that, I go, it's time for bed. So you're going to fold back your fabric. So here's our fabric. We're going to fold back our fabric, and you're going to fold back your batting. So fold back either your whole batting, because you can do whole batting like some of the gals are doing, or if you're doing the strips, just fold those back. Your trimmer by George has this little lip on that's going to protect this. So you're going to just put it on here and just slide it back. Don't be too aggressive. Like I cut my fold because I was like, oh, I want it so close. I pulled this back. I got my rotary cutter and then I cut the fold. This is the whole thing. The whole point of this is for this lip here to protect that fold. So we're just going to pull it back. It's probably hard for you to notice, but I think it's purposeful. It's not straight up. It's kind of like a little bit tilted over, and your rotary cutter should be a little bit tilted over. Otherwise you cut some of, well, I can tell you because I did it. See, some of the white is shaved off because I was holding it upright. You're really supposed to kind of angle it the slightest bit. And if you shave off the white, that's okay too. Mine still works perfectly. So only thing we're cutting is the muslin. Okay. Everything else is folded back out of the way. Don't be too aggressive. Take your rotary cutter and just cut. And this is what I have left. Just like that. And now we're ready to lay this down. Okay. We're going to put this back in our hoop, do the placement line, and we're going to lay this down. What if you don't have a ruler by George? That's okay too. You're just going to put this over. This doesn't zoom in. I'm sorry, I can't zoom this in. And just put it over the edge a little bit. Like, see this? Put your ruler over the edge, the tiniest bit, and then cut. Don't worry about it. You don't have to have a ruler by George, but that's just a little reassurance that you're not going to cut into the fold, okay? Don't put it like that, because then the chances are you might cut some of that fold off. Hang it over a little bit and then cut. All right. Now that we're ready, how was that? You guys all okay? That wasn't too bad. We're going to rehoop. So this is kind of a combination of the way Kimberbell has you do it and a little bit of ours, just leaving the fabric and not cutting all the strips. We're going to rehoop. We're going to do our placement line, and then I'm going to show you how to place. I was doing it where I was trying to keep my muslin all in one piece, using my projector, trying to hoop it there. It was just kind of a poop show. So I just the last time we did what was it, Enchanted, and I just went back to basics, and I was like, I haven't done it like this in a long time. This is just easier like this. So taut, not tight. We do have, if you're lusting and longing for one of these hoops, if somebody's gonna get you a really nice present, we do have some left that we bought. We bought extra during the brother sale, so we can still give you a great deal. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this onto my machine. Our design is still up. And then let me move my camera over, and then we're gonna go ahead and do some placement. All right, this is the part that's just like a little bit awkward, but let's go ahead and we are going to do our placement for our batting strips. And I'm all set. I'm just going to go ahead and put this spot down. I wish we could start off mistletoe, with doing the board. I just loved when we did Enchanted and we just did the borders. I would have done the borders with I would have done it with Sweetheart Street, but um you have to piece all of that. So I didn't.
For anyone who's doing it like me, all in one, even after I recalibrated it, I stopped right after I finished the first set and I turned the camera on. And the camera still, even after recalibrating, shows that the design is, oh, maybe an eighth still to the left of where the
So, Cindy, that might not have to do with the calibration. It might have to do with the like I don't want to say I don't trust or go by the exact camera or the projector because that stuff doesn't take into account the loft of the fabric. So, you have to.
down.
What was that?
I tried pushing it down to see if
Yeah.
it could get closer or whatever. And to get my design to match up, I had to move it farther to the
Yeah. I would go by your needle drop and pushing like just pushing the fabric down and where the needle drop is. I don't think it's really going to be the calibration. It is I think it has to do with where they moved instead of the camera coming straight from the top, the camera comes from over here. So that loft of the fabric plays into it so much. Like if you were to do it, I would like if you really want to test it, don't do it on your fabric, stitch it out on like a piece of paper. That's totally flat, that sits on the bed, and I think it's going to be right where it needs to be. It's
Hmm.
that it doesn't take into account because it's coming from this side, that loft of the fabric. It will only be perfect like if you're on like just a sheet of paper. So I really push down on the fabric and I go by the needle drop.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, that's what I ended up doing was going by the needle drop.
yes, that's what you're gonna have to do.
Gotcha. Hmm.
All right, we are gonna grab our fabric that we were working with and where did I put mine? I'm so good at losing stuff. Oh, here. It's on my. How did I get it over here so quickly? And we are going to do a little bit of spraying. So, what we're going to be laying down, remember, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip this back. You want to have your quilting showing. And we're going to flip this back. And you are spraying this side. Don't leave it down and spray this. We're going to spray this side because that's the side that's going to go down. And this strip may or may not be long enough. I might have to abut another piece. And you're going to spray about 12 inches or the 7 inches or whatever size you're doing. Let's go ahead. Try not to get it everywhere. And if it's getting on the fabric, that's fine because the fabric's going to kind of lay over it too. I'm just going to kind of gently pull them down and I'm going to spray that fabric a little bit as well. I'm just going to do it all now so I'm not spraying it when it's in the hoop. And this becomes a little bit of management. It's kind of awkward, but once everything's down and it's stitching, it's going to be fine. All right. I'm going to pop this back again. This is how we're going to take it to the hoop. I found it was easiest to have this part here about 1/4 of an inch from the design, from where it did the placement line, okay? So I'm going to take this just like this over to the machine. Wrong side of the batting, wrong side of the fabric. Here, let me get you over here. And like I said, just know it's a little bit awkward. They have all this fabric in the way and batting. All right, you ready? I like having that placement line so I can line up my batting, my little strips with the little placement lines. And I like this to be about 1/4 inch. I found when I put it right on here, it was too far down. So for me, it worked out best to put this back about 1/4 inch and just get this stuff kind of lined up. All right, we're going to pull these pieces down and line them up with the placement line. So let me go ahead. I'm going to back you up a little bit. Just take your time. The setup takes a little bit of time. I'm going to just, and I'm about like I said, about 1/4 inch. You might play with it. And as you do this and you play with it, you might want to line it up a little bit more, a little bit further up, a little bit further down. And I'm going to go ahead and press this down.
Jeannie, can I ask you, why
Yeah.
are you doing it in continuous? Why don't you just cut them off and do a second one?
Because
Like,
I don't want all the seams.
but won't you have to do some sort of a seam there if you're doing it
No,
1/4
these are
inch
going to
back?
be all, they're going to be all in one. I'm doing what, 24? This is like 30 inches. So it'll be all in one piece.
Okay, but what about
The
um
side ones, I already sewed them together.
no,
Remember,
the linen that you're doing it on, that's not going to be joined, is it? At the back, the base
oh,
of
the
what?
muslin? No, the
Yeah,
muslin won't, but you don't see that. That's on the underside. This is
okay.
the top side.
Yeah,
So you can do it. Remember, you can do this. There's probably 20 million ways you could do this.
okay.
This is just how I do it. So yeah, if you feel like, oh, that looks like a hassle, I don't want to do it. Yeah, you could. But even if you're still supposed to have these strips all in one piece and not cut through. Like you would just have a lot of cutting and seams.
Okay.
So it's up to you. You can do it any way you want. This is just how I do it. All right, I'm going to do this
Match
one
up.
last piece. Again, I'm about 1/4 inch, like the edge of this fabric right here is about 1/4 inch. I don't know. I did it really close. I did it really far. That to me was kind of the sweet spot. And I'm trying not to move this around too much. I'm just holding that with my finger and I'm just pulling down my batting strips. Because I don't want to spray in the hoop if I can not, if I can avoid it. Okay, now that these are down, I'm going to gently pull down my fabric on top. All right, smooth it down. And I do check it. So I want to make sure that that needle is going to be in line with that stitching, but that's the batting stitch. Let's go in here because we're going to fast forward to this tack down. And that's where you're going to check to make sure that it's all in line. Okay. Before we really, really settle everything in, I'm going to go okay here. And I'm skipping this. Remember, our batting's cut to size. We don't need the background placement. We're going to do the yellow right here. So for me, I can just touch in here. I'm going to touch into the blue because I don't want to overshoot and go to like the second yellow and miss the first yellow by accident. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through. There, that's my first yellow. And that's just going to be the 2 rows of stitching. It's going to be the tack down. Now I want to make sure this needle is in line with the other line that I just did. And I feel like I'm a little bit to the left. So guess what? I'm just going to pull it over a little bit. And I hand roll. I hand roll to check it. Hang on, trying to get you a good angle where I can still see too. So I'm going to hand roll. And that looks really good. I don't know if you can see, but from this angle, my needle is right in line. I know it's not from your angle, but my needle is right in line with that stitching. It looks great. I'm good with it. I'm going to give you a minute. And it might be awkward. You'll get better at it as you do it. How are we doing? You guys ready? Look, my fabric shifted under here. Check that before you start stitching. Look at this. Check it. Make sure nothing got moved around. I obviously was a little bit rough with everything. But before you start stitching everything, make sure your batting's laying flat. Go ahead and lay this down again. I feel like I'm good. I'm going to start stitching. And this is how we're going to do our this is how I'm doing my rehooping. And you guys can, however you want to do it. So tack down first, then we're going to do the quilting stitch, and then we'll be done. We'll be ready to rehoop again. We got one more rehooping because I didn't have the actual 10 and I didn't stretch it or pull it or change the sizing. I'm going to do these two, and then I'll do one of this. Oh, did you guys see that? Look at me, I'm curled under. I caught it. My fabric got curled under, but I caught it before. Make sure your fabric's not curling under. I looked and I was like, oh my God, it's thick. I have a little bit of space there in between. If you want, you can go closer. I just found that I overlap sometimes, and I didn't like that. I'd rather have a little separation than be like just sewing over itself. But I want you to play with your distance between. If you feel like, ooh, that 1/4 inch was too far, then I want you to go ahead and maybe put it a little bit closer together. So I'm pretty lined up. I'm probably about a 1/4 inch away. Make sure your fabric doesn't roll under too. We're going to have to manage that. And we'll do one more hooping and then we're done with the horizontal pieces. How you guys doing? Miss Leslie, you stitching with me? You feeling pretty good? You look relaxed.
I am relaxed. I'm just having some tea and stitching away.
Okay. Yeah, for my Sweetheart Street, like I said, I'm going to try that way that if you've watched Becky's video on continuous borders, but I've just been playing. I was talking to Joanne Patterson yesterday about it. Just playing with how we could do it where we're going to do all 4 or all 2. I think there'll be a small inner and a small outer border. We're going to play with that. Okay, now just go ahead and hit start and do the quilting stitch. I mean, I have a little, I've got that 1/4 inch in between. So if you want to snug it up a little bit more, you can do that. Yeah, I like keeping the top piece all in one and then having the batting in the strips. It just works for me, but like whatever works for you, go ahead and do it. I have done it, you guys know, and you've done it probably with me like 20 different ways. This to me just kind of felt like the easiest, but I'm gonna go and try that other continuous hooping next time where we cut a hole in the batting. Let's try it. See if we like it. We don't. We tried it. We can always come back to this. but we might love it. I mean, I could play with it. I mean, if I was up a quarter of an inch, that would be pretty seamless. But if you're not, then, I had some where I was like crossing over. I did a little bit of everything, half an inch, no inches, quarter inch. And I just decided the quarter inch was like the neatest and easiest for me to kind of gauge. Who else is stitching? Anyone else? Miss Lori, how are you doing? I think you're stitching with me, right? How about you, Miss Susan A? Are you stitching? You look like you're stitching too.
I'm working on Christmas ornaments. I figure this I don't need ready until spring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Alberta's doing Christmas gifts too. What are you guys making for holidays? Oh, that's adorable with the you've got the whoa, are those for like gift cards?
Yeah, they're Hoop Studio.
I love those. Those are adorable. Oh, is that the oh, look at the Christmas tree on the inside and then you can see it through the window.
Yeah, isn't that
Susan,
adorable?
that is cute. Wait, so okay, Hoop Studios, is that just another website?
It's a Kimberbell subscription, monthly
Oh,
subscription.
darn. I just don't have time. I love that with a Christmas tree through the window. That was pretty darn cute. They've got some great designers over there.
Yeah, I say that I'm not going to buy anymore. And then she showed an otter rice bag that you heat up in the microwave. It is
Yeah.
so cute. So I ordered that. I'm going to make that for my daughter for Christmas.
I keep saying the same thing too. I'm like, how about we skip a project? And then I see it. And when you stitch it, they're all just magnificent. I'm really excited to do the home sewn tiles. I can't wait to start those. I mean, I love them all. Is anyone doing Juju's? Um, Juju has I think they're doing like a wall hanger of the month, like the Lynn Geldmeyer sent me the picture and I was like, oh, that's pretty cute. Can I squeeze that in? Okay, we're almost done with this and then we're gonna hoop again. If you're doing the 6x10, you're just gonna keep going. Just do the next one, do the next one. Some people have software. So if you have software, I don't know how to do it, but if you have software and you can make that 11.75 into a 10 that's going to fit into your hoop, I would do that. But I'm one of those people that has software but doesn't know how to use it. And I haven't spent the time. Someday when I have more time, I'd like to learn my software too. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do this set. I'm going to leave it up to you to do the second set. And when you do the second set, you're going to do one of these that's going to go 30 inches, and then you're going to keep going on the other side. You can either, yeah, I would just take that and on two of them, you're going to just keep going because it's going to be long. Does that make sense? So let's rehoop again. Stretch this so we don't have to switch to my other camera. Easy peasy, right? Not bad.
is this
My
just
joint.
borders, Jeannie?
These are the inner borders.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the horizontal inner borders. And I would show you in my book, but is this my book? Yeah. So
Okay.
what we're doing right now, we're doing the ones that go underneath the green. So we're
Okay.
doing this one, this one. So those two that are above the little strip, and then they're below and above the little strip down there. There's 4 of them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, one more
I'm
hooping.
behind, but I just wanted to at least know what was going on.
Yeah. Today's all about the borders and finishing because we've worked way too hard for this one to be a UFO. If you don't finish it, I'm gonna come spank you.
Well, I haven't even started mine. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna be like you Ebenezer, you know how the ghosts come and visit? I'm gonna come visit you. I'm gonna be like, did you finish your wallflower? Patrick
Well,
always
I went down the tiling scene rabbit hole, as you know, last night.
yes. Who's talking? I don't even know who's talking. Who was that? Was
Heather.
that Heather? Okay.
Yes.
Did you get my email?
Yes, I was a little confused because their directions, they have you using medium tearaway and no stabilizer on the back of the fabrics. That's why I was confused.
So you know what? That's an older one. So what Heather's talking about, she's doing the poinsettia tiling scene from OESD, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they have evolved. Their instructions have changed. The products they use have changed. So, and what I learned from doing Christmas Flight is I learned I did not need all of that stabilizer. I've always just, because I don't have time to just try things out, I'm going to use my ruler by George. I'm going to cut this again. I'm going to take this and snug it up. And then I'm using my 60mm rotary cutter. So that was the Christmas Flight that I did. It was the first one where I didn't do my stabilizer exactly like they said to do it. Okay, so we're folded back. I'm trimmed. What did I do where I cut my fabric? I think maybe I folded it. I don't know. Anyways, so we're trimmed. We're ready to go. We're going to rehoop. We're going to take this and spray all of that. Let's rehoop our muslin. So it's up to you, but they've evolved. Like if you follow their instructions for a freestanding nutcracker from like before, the product has changed. So I would just do like I don't know what the stitch count is for that. Like if it's maybe just one piece of medium tearaway, do one of the blocks that is a lighter stitch count and do like one piece of medium tearaway and see how it works. If it looks beautiful, then go on to the next one. And I kept upping my stitch count with my heavy cutaway. And then it was beautiful every single time. I was like, oh, what I've learned from this is I can just use one piece and it'll look great.
Okay, it's an applique, and so that's why I was treading lightly.
Oh yeah. Then applique, I would just go with the one piece. See how it works.
I'm doing,
yes.
That's what we're doing on my 10 needle right now.
Yeah.
Is the
It's Christmas Flight.
But it's only embroidery, and we're only using one piece of medium stabilizer.
Okay. And it looks awesome.
But we did do SF 101 behind the strips.
Oh yeah, absolutely do the SF 101.
Okay.
Yeah, and experiment and go, can I get away with and the issue is that, some of them can be heavy stitch count and you don't want to waste that time and that energy. But at this point I'm gonna go, can I get away with this? And does it still look great? I'm not gonna sacrifice the way it looks for less stabilizer, but if it looks great with less, then I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm being wild and crazy.
Jenny, can I ask you, why don't you keep the muslin all in one piece as well and just do it how you've done other bits and just slide?
I've done it in the past and it's kind of hard to align. It's much easier. Just cut it, do your placement line. It's hard to get it hooped and have it perfect left and right, and then top and bottom. Because I tried that. We've done that several. Use the projector, use the camera, and it's much harder. This is much quicker and much faster.
Okay.
Wouldn't you guys agree? For those of you that have tried to keep it in one piece with me, this is just
Oh,
placement
no, I'm
line.
doing one piece right now and I'm not having any problems lining it up. I'm
Are you
doing,
the muslin? You're keeping the muslin all in one piece? You're
uh-huh,
not cutting it?
uh-uh,
Oh,
everything
I
in one piece.
yeah, you can go ahead and you can keep it in one piece, but I struggle. I struggle, especially if you fill the hoop. You don't have room to move your design up and down if you're not hooped high enough or not hooped low enough. And if you're filling it left to right, it's gotta be hooped perfectly. And I personally struggle with it, but we have better hoopers in here than me. I struggle with it.
Hey, Jeannie,
Yeah.
I only got 15 inches of the other instead of 18 for the other border. So I just cut it in half, which is 7.5.
Yes.
And we only have two strips,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I shouldn't have a problem.
No. Oh
Okay.
wait, 7.5 you're talking about for the top and the bottom?
I'm talking about, I only got 15 inches. I didn't get my 18 inches. I didn't get a half a yard of material.
Oh, you know what? You got 2 yards though, didn't you?
No,
You got a yard and a half and 15 inches. If you have any issues, let me know.
no. All I'm asking is, since those are only going to be 2.5 inches wide, I still have a couple of
Oh
inches. So
yeah,
that,
you're fine. Yeah,
okay,
you're totally fine.
okay.
Yeah, because you have plenty on the side. It's gonna be
All right,
chunky extra on the side.
okay.
Oh shoot! Wait a minute. I don't want to do this because I don't want to have to do the whole thing. I can stop and cut. Sorry. Oopsies. Oopsies, guys. Okay, because the last hooping, we only need like this. We did 11.75, 11.7. So let's call it 12 is 24. And we really need like 3 more inches. So should I just go with this? And I'm going to show you how to stop in the middle. And
Yeah, I
then
would do. I
yeah,
would stop.
okay. I'm going to keep going. But what you could do is you could have loaded the 7 inches. Does that make sense? The 6.12 or whatever that was. So I don't need to stitch all this bottom part. We just need the very top. We just need maybe like, say, maybe I'll do half of them. So I'm just going to show you how to stop and then oopsies. Here are my real life mistakes, talking, not thinking. Oh, and how about I spray instead of just sitting here? All right, we need to prep this. So again, this is the back side. And I'm going to cut this away too later on because we don't need that bulk. We're doing this one. You're going to fold this back. Oh, this way. This is the way we need to go. We're going to fold this back. So right side up, fold this back, fold these back. I need longer arms. I'm like, what were those dinosaurs with the little short arms? Need longer arms. And then I'm going to lay a new piece down totally for here. This will probably work perfectly. Okay. I'll put this down so I can spray it. Wrong side. Yeah. Let's get this out of the way. And these will be long enough. You only need, depending on what you did, you might have to spray all of these if you're continuing on. Because if you have the 6x10 and you're doing 3 at a time, you could just keep making this longer and then cut one down. I'm just going to spray about 6 inches because that's all we need. I'm not going to do all of it. If it's too confusing, just stitch the whole thing if you want. Okay, I'm going to get these out of the way so I can spray my fabric too. This one, let's go ahead and put him down. This is going to be this one right here. All right. Hold this back out of the way so everything's neat and tidy, and this is how I'm going to take it to my machine. And why don't we have a long piece here? I just used a short piece and it ended. It ended. All right, here we go. And if this looks complicated to you, you could try any way you want. I've tried like 800 different ways. I'm going to lay this down about 1/4 of an inch above. And I'm going to lay my batting pieces. Oh, it's weird to have Jeannie hair again. I didn't have hair for so long, and then it was short for so long. Oop, that one has to go here. I'm about 1/4 of an inch away, and I'm going to pull my batting down. I'm going to back up now that you saw where I am. This piece is already here. I better extend him up a little bit so that, you know what I mean? Above 1/4 of an inch. This will be plenty. And this one, Jeannie here. Susan A., this better not be a UFO. You look like a non-UFO person.
So far I have finished all of my Kimberbell projects eventually.
Wow.
But I got them stacked. Like I got to get Christmas done, and then I can work on the winter enchanted and let it snow, and then I can switch to spring.
That's impressive. I usually don't hear that. Okay, let me get rid of these dark threads that have caught a ride with my batting. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, I'm going to fold the top down now. Just kind of hold this in place so it doesn't all move around. This is a little sticky because I did spray it, but just take your time. And then you're going to check your batting underneath. We're not going to totally press it down because we're going to check and just make sure everything's in place first. I'm going to put it down like a little bit, and we are hooped. All right? Okay. Let's come in here. Remember, we're going to skip, and I'm going to be mindful of the fabric back there. I'm probably going to roll it up and clip it so I know it doesn't get sewn down underneath. That's the worst, and I usually do it. I haven't done it in a while, knock on wood. Okay, I'm going to fast forward. So I want to skip all of this. I'm going to go to the tack down, which is very important. I'm still in blue. I can see that I'm still in the blue. I want to get to the yellow. I'm going to go to the next color. I'm still in the blue. And the next color. There, I'm in the yellow. And my fabric looks okay for right now in the back. Okay, before we start stitching, I'm going to hand roll. And I'm going to make sure my needle is right in line with the other stuff. And I can tell just by looking at it, it's not. So guess what? I'm the boss. And this is fabric. I just tugged it over to the side a little bit, and that looks perfect. I'm going to hand roll and just look from the front to the back, and it looks good. All right, I think I'm good. If you're off like 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, but like eighth up to 1/8 of an inch, I wouldn't even worry about it. Nobody's going to notice. 1/2 an inch, that's way too much. You want to be lined up. All right, looks good. I think I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and do my, I'm going to put this over here. And I don't need it the whole way. I'm going to go to right there and stop. Because remember, I don't need all of that stitching. I'm going to cut. Now I'm going to skip. So here's my, that's where the needle is. I'm going to skip all the way over here. How do I do that? Let's just hit my +10s. Okay, there's my needle right there. I'll just do it there. I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. Oh, I'm going to hit +10 one more time. Perfect. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start right there and then I'll do the quilting there. I'm not going to do all of it. You could do the whole thing. I mean, if you're like, oh, I could have just stitched it, it would have been faster. Go ahead and stitch it. But now it'll be a good way for you to learn how to fast forward. Looks really good. I'm right in line. Okay, it's just going on by itself. I'm going to stop it and then I'll fast forward. Okay, I'm going to cut. Don't not cut because otherwise you'll be dragging the thread around and now I'm going to hit my plus 10s. If this is confusing, just let it stitch. Be careful of your foot right here that it doesn't catch your batting and drag it around. I'm just hitting my plus 10s until it's where I want it to be. That looks good. Go ahead and stitch. You need to know how to fast forward and move forward and back in case you miss a stitch or something like that happens. It's automatically going to go on. I'm just going to put my finger on the start stop button. I don't know why it didn't catch her, but that's semi-okay. You do need that stitch to fussy cut to, but this one's okay. So I'll fussy cut to this one 1/8 of an inch over, and then I'll cut from here 1/8 of an inch over 1.5 inches. So yeah, I don't know why it looks so messy. Okay, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Oop, that's too far. Now I'm going minuses. Okay, here we go.
Jeannie, what's the next thing we're gonna sew?
So I'm not going to do the rest of them with you, the other ones, but we're going to do the wait, when you say that, you mean today?
Yeah.
We're going to do the wider borders. Ooh, let's go a little bit more.
Okay. I missed what I needed to do on prep on that for the
Just take your wider border fabric, cut your what do you have? Do you have 18 inches, like half a yard?
yeah.
Take your half a yard and cut it in half lengthwise. So you have 9 inches by width of fabric and 9 inches by width of fabric. And just sew them together on one of the short ends.
Okay. Thank
We're
you.
going to do that whole thing.
Jeannie?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes,
Yeah, all the cotton looks like it's looping here from on the
my thread. Something
yeah.
happened with my thread. So I don't know, but I'm just going to leave it. As long as I have one side that's good enough, I can cut 1/8 inch over from this side. And then I'm going to, from this trimmed edge, I'll cut 1.5 inches. So if I don't have one side, it's okay. I don't know why it didn't pick up over there, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Now we're gonna just do the quilting stitch. I'm gonna, you know what it does is it comes all the way down and then it goes over itself. So I'm gonna stop it when it comes here and then I'll fast forward it until it goes back because we don't need all that stitching. And this is good for you to practice your starts and your stops. If I had done the 7s, I would have just done all of it, but I forgot to load the 7s. I'm going to keep my thumb right here and I'm going to stop it. I'm going to hit my cut because you don't want to drag your thread around. And I'm going to hit my 100. So I'm going to hit plus 100. You can go by 10s and hundreds and ones. And if I overshoot, then I'll readjust with my 10s. Okay. So I'm just going to go plus 100, plus 100, plus 100. Oops, so that I overshot. I'm going to go minus 10s. Okay, I'll start there. Just around where it needs to be. So you're not committed to stitching out everything.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
I have 15.5 inches wide on that material. So 7 3/4, is that going to be wide enough?
Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. No, you're not cutting it. You have 15 and oh wait. Yeah, I think that's going to be wide. Yes. You're going to be wide enough. You have the same 15 inches. Yeah. So do 7 and a quarter.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I think was that in the instructions? Did it tell you to cut it down to that? Or maybe you know what happened when we first sent out, whoops, when we first sent out the kits, I think that was the width of what it said to cut it to. And then later on, we just cut it wider. We just gave you the half a yard. But I think that's what's in the instructions. Wait, no. Are you supposed to cut it? Yeah, you need to cut it and then put it in. Yes. Sorry, I'm just thinking it through. There's my 100s. Plus 100's a little too much. I'm going to go minus 10 and then start from there. Yes, that'll be wide enough. How are you doing with your fast forwarding? You're cut in the middle. Trim, fast forward, go back, go forward. It's important that you guys know how to get to where you want to be. So when you guys do the next strip, you're going to do whatever, do three. I would just do three of the full 12s, which is like 11.75. And then you're going to continue on just on one side because those have to be longer until you get your, what is it, 44.5 inches. But I would do more. Oops, look at me not paying attention. That's what happens when I'm talking. And I could just keep going that way, but I'm going to just cut it. Okay, plus 100, plus 100, and plus 100. And let's go back 10. What happens if you go too far? It's fine. You're just going to cut that off anyways. Okay, Jeannie, focus. Pay attention. And then while we're stitching, we'll press these out. We'll press, whoop, whoop. We'll press, sorry, I thought that was going to go into the other stuff. While we're stitching the other ones, I'll press these and show you how I'm trim them. And then if you got one side that didn't stitch down, that's totally fine. You need one side that does. Okay, I'm paying attention this time. I'm going to stop it when it gets to about here. I have my thumb on my start stop. Oh, the other ones did the butterfly. Let me do the butterfly. Okay, I'm going to cut. And then on my screen, I'm hitting plus 100. Plus 100, plus 100, plus 100, plus 100. And now I'm going to go minus 10s because that's too far. Okay, we'll start there. All right. That's how you make lemonade out of lemons. We're going to hoop up and get started with the other ones, and then I'll work on pressing this and trimming this. And if you have another machine, you can start sewing your sashing pieces together too. Done. I'm going to leave that in my machine, though. It's saved in my memory, so we can use this design to do the other set. But that's one set of 4, and we are done. All right. Let's come on over
Jeannie?
here. We're going to, yeah.
Is this going to be since you're recording it, you're going to post it again?
Oh yeah, it'll get posted. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And did you say the next one is going to be the 3 by 12?
The we're gonna do the wider one. So we're gonna do the outside, the outer border.
Yeah, the 3-inch
And
by.
yeah. Yeah, let's do that because we need and we're gonna just keep doing that the whole way. We're just gonna do so what I did with this one is I had half a yard, or you might have 15 inches, which is I think like in the instructions what it said. I want you to cut it in half down the middle, and I just sewed the two short ends together. So where is it? So my two short ends are sewed together, and I press that open. And so this is one, whatever, your 7.5 or your 9 inches by width of fabric sewn to your other one width of fabric. And we're just going to stitch that whole thing. We're going to quilt the whole thing, and then we'll cut it down to whatever size we need it, whether we're going to be doing it on the short tops and bottoms or the long sides. Okay? All right. Still going to be using my 7x12 hoop. You could use your 9x14, and then you could do. So is it the same is it the same with the designs? I didn't check the sizes. Like, do they only give you the 7-inch and the 12-inch, or are they all available for this? I imagine they'd all be available. Okay. Let's get your. That's too big. Where's my muslin? Here we go. I'm going to hoop this first. We're going to do the same thing. So this is a good one to just do while you're watching TV or talking to your friend. I called Violet right before. I called Kai last night, but he barely had time to talk to me. I was like, I just miss you so much. So I am totally a stressor, and sometimes I work hard and not smart. And we always joke that Kai is me with Patrick's intensity. Patrick's so intense. So I'm like, oh no, Kai is like stressing like I would, making it working hard, not smart, but even more intensely than I did. So he was kind of stressed out last night. All right, let's clip this all up. I'm going to get us started, and I'm going to run to the bathroom. How are we doing? You guys doing okay? That wasn't that bad, right? And of course, you just do it however it works for you. If you're like, I like it all in one piece, do it all in one piece. All right. I'm going to put this onto my machine. Then we'll come back to this. We'll trim that out. We're going to change our thread color. So let's go ahead and get your peppermint. Peppermint. Where you at? Yeah, I was thinking about the borders, and I think I'm going to keep my batting all in one piece for Sweetheart Street. We're going to see how that goes. I think you kind of have to. Finish embroidering. Thread my needle. All right, slide my hoop on. Let's go ahead and load our design. So up to you, whatever you want to do. Oops, guess what? My laptop battery is going dead. Let me plug that in really quickly. Great. Loader design. I'm going to go home. This is already saved. I already saved it before. If you can't remember, just save it again. Better to save it twice than not at all. I'm going to go into embroidery. Here's my pocket. And I brought my designs in via design database transfer. And we're doing, these are all my 2 inches. Although, what is it, 2.5 inch? I can't remember what it says in the design. So let me just touch it and see if that's the one. That's too big because I'm not using my 9.5 by 14-inch hoop. So maybe it's this one. Okay, that's the one I'm going to be using, the 11.75. And what's the longest side? I did my math, so I'll have to figure that out. But I'm just going to, I think what I did is I ended up stitching the entire length. I just did the whole thing. And I did have some leftover. And guess what? I'm going to put that leftover into the back of my quilt. I was like, oh, this is cute. I'll just put it in the back of my quilt. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set that. And we're going to do, it's up to you. Like you guys have, some of you have your fabric is 7.5 inches wide. So we do have to be mindful of that. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to go edit and my move arrows, and I'm just going to scoot it over. And then let's go ahead and say okay. And then I'm going to add, oh, not going to add. If you add, you have to go look for and do all that stuff. The easiest way to do it is we're going to just make a copy. Can we talk about creating the back of the quilt? Rita, I will, are you talking about how I do this scrappy back? Because I will, over Christmas break, I will do one where I film the whole thing, where you guys can just join me and I'll show you how I do it. Okay, it's too low, so don't forget, you're going to go to your move arrows, you're going to hit the center button, that's going to center it, and we're going to scoot it to the right. And you have room here, so if you're, whatever, it's going to be 3/4 of an inch on either side if you have the 15-inch strip. So I'm just going to move it over to the edge of the little hash mark. Here, I'll zoom in. Is that what you were referring to, Miss Rita? Oh, I'm going to zoom out because my hash mark got small too. I'm going to tap that one so it's selected, and I'm going to move that one over. And you should have plenty of fabric on either side. Okay? That looks good. So even with that 15 inches, you're going to have plenty. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and I'm going to put it into memory. I'm going to save it onto my machine. So if I don't get it finished, it's saved there. I don't have to move it, and everything's going to be in line. So I'm going to go embroidery. We're hooped up. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Let's go layout, color group. And if you can't color group, let me undo that. You're going to stitch that first placement line. And just like we were fast forwarding, you're going to go to the next placement line. You might have to arrow through if you can't touch in the progress bar, but you'll just go ahead and touch that, touch that, touch that. Go through all of these steps until you get to your next placement line. So that's what you're going to do if you color group, but even more basic once you create the back. Once I create the back, I might have to call you Miss Rita. So you might have to fast forward for that. I'm going to go back to stitch 0. And for me, because I have the feature, I am going to color group. So I'm going to touch that again. And now I'm color grouped. You guys ready? Thread is in. Let's go ahead and stitch. Placement stitch first. And I'm going to grab my 2.25. 2.25. Here we go. Here are my 2.25. Feel this. Here's the wrong side. Oh God, my spray. Got it. Just spray about 12 inches. Don't spray the whole thing. You don't want it to be a sticky mess. And now you need your background fabric. And just settle in. This is going to take a while. And we're going to spray about 12 inches. All right, here we go. How are you guys doing? Anyone have any questions? And we're just going to repeat just what we did before. Look at this mess. What's that from? And just make sure you're kind of straddling that center line. My lights are kind of bright, huh? Hang on. Let me turn that down a little bit.
Jeannie, were there special alignment instructions with that? Because it looks like the grass, like you wouldn't center the design. Do they tell you to move it over?
Nope. Nope. You're going to stitch it just the way it is. And it's going to come out beautifully. There. A little bit less glare. Yeah, just stitch it just the way it is. Are you talking about for like for the joins, or are you talking about for left like in the hoop this way?
No, because it looks like instead of it being a design that's centered on the strip, it looks like it's grass.
Oh, it is. So the grass will be stitched more to that edge. It's the grass isn't going to be centered in the hoop. It's automatically going to be further to the right, so the
Oh,
grass will
okay.
get stitched in. Yep. All right, I'm going to lay this down on top, and you should have plenty if you have that 15-inch piece. Oh God, I can't help myself. I'm like, I don't want to waste. What am I going to do with that like edge over here? I don't need it. Hang on, I'll move it over a little bit. Jeannie, don't forget about your therapy. If you feel like that's too much and you need that, move it down the tiniest bit. But I've got about half an inch from where the selvage dots start. That's where I'm putting it down. Okay. And I think that's good. I'm going to stretch this so it's taut, not tight, and we're ready to go. Let's go ahead. We're going to fast forward because we're not going to do the batting and we're not going to do the background placement. I'm going to go here to where I go forward and backward stitches. I'm going to touch in the blue, but I want to get to the yellow. I just don't want to overshoot. I'm still in the blue. I'm going to keep going to the next step until I get to the yellow. All right, we're good. I don't touch in the yellow because what if you go one step beyond the first yellow and then you have to go back to it? So that's why I always touch right in before and then I'll fast forward. Here we go. I'm going to just make sure I'm going to massage it. I'm just going to say lay flat. I don't know why it wouldn't catch on the other side when we were stopping it in the middle. Maybe because there wasn't a locking stitch. And then I'm going to set it up to do the quilting and I'm going to run to the ladies' room. Oh my goodness. Poppy, Poppy was up all night. Poppy was poopy. I think she was up like 4 times last night. There we go. We're going to go ahead and was that TMI? I'm so sorry. I just woke up feeling groggy. Okay, just let this stitch. This is going to be 4 minutes, 8 minutes of stitching. Good time to take a little break. But you know, when you step away from your machine, that's when bad things happen. So just look around, make sure that everything's clear, and I will be right back. Oh my goodness. I'm on my headset and I forgot, which means, did you guys all go to the bathroom with me? Okay, good. Because I think my sound might have gone with me. How cute is that? And guess what? We're going to be in it for, I can't remember if I did 7 or 8 hoopings. 77, 84. Did I do? I can't remember what I did. But we're going to we're going to do the whole length. And then what I did was, I want to say I cut one for the top and the other one for the top. I think I had to piece one of the sides. Like I left one of these the whole length and I pieced the side. And then maybe I used the very top of it and a little bit on this one for the other side. So I think you're going to have to piece something regardless. Or maybe I did the sides all in one piece. I cut those and I'm pretty sure I had to cut down that there was something, either a top or a side, that something had to be pieced. But you're just going to do this whole length.
That pink really pops on this fabric. So pretty.
Oh, yeah. It totally pops. Miss Linda S., how are you doing? Are you stitching with me today? Are you doing Christmas presents? Miss Donna, you doing okay? Heather, are you stitching this or what are you working on? Are you working on the tiling scene?
I'm pulling thread for a tiling seam.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I'm missing quite a few colors. I was hoping I
Well,
had them.
I know somebody that can help you with that. So call me later. Hey, Margarita, what were we're just stitching right now. What were you, what was your question about the backing? I'm going to heat up my iron. Okay, let me go ahead and heat up my iron. Because why don't we press this out? And we'll trim them. Might as well. Whoop.
Hey Jeannie, it's Donna.
Hi, Donna.
I'm a little sorry about all of that 1 by 10 business, and I don't understand why they even put the 1 by 10 or one by
Yeah,
15 in
right?
there. You know,
Because
just
what if
didn't
you're
say
somebody who doesn't read the instructions?
like us. Um, my question is, don't we have 3 more strips of the 1 inch to make 2 long
Yeah.
ones and one
Yeah,
short?
but I'm not going to do them all with you
And
today
that's
just because,
yeah.
I'm going to go to the store and I just wanted to kind of get you started so you
I
understand how it
totally
works.
understand that. I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that we had 3 left to go.
Yeah. So right here, you actually have 4. I mean, so these are the 4 that are going to go in between the sash. These are the sashing,
Right.
the horizontal ones. You're going to do 2 more, and those are
More
going to
that
be,
length. Okay. And then 2
yeah, you're going
longer.
to do
Okay.
2 more, and I would do those probably about 30 inches, and that's going to be the top and the bottom inner border. And then you're going to do the other 2. Those you're going to keep going. That's why you have that piece that's longer.
Okay.
You're going
Okay.
to keep going with those 2 because those are going to be the sides, the
Okay.
side inner borders. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm
Thank
going to just trim this one down right now. And we
thank
don't need all of this. Make sure you're welcome. Make sure you have at least, I would say, give yourself 26 inches just to be on the safe side. All right. Because I measured mine to be 24 and a half inches is what I need. Let me grab my, ooh, it looks so gorgeous. Okay. I have to climb over my big ottoman that I have to have because my dogs insist on sitting with me. These are the ones that are going to go on the top and the bottom of this strip. So you're going to, so, and I measured this, it's 24 and a half inches, in between 24 and a quarter and 24 and a half. This is way more than I need, but I'm just going to go ahead and, all right, let's press. I like to press from the back side. Oh, my thing's almost done stitching. I literally do the countdown and I'm like, okay, 1 of 8 done, 2 of 8 done. You don't need this extra piece that's in between, so I'm just going to cut that off. It doesn't have to be pretty. You know, sometimes you can just drag your scissors. I'm not cutting it right to the stitch. I'm probably about a quarter of an inch away. And look, it's not even straight. That's totally fine. So I didn't cut it right directly to the stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and press. I just like to use water for this part. Where's my spray bottle? Oh, you know what? I didn't even take it out of my my travel bag from Utah yet. I have not been sewing. Been too busy at the store. Or did I take it out? Where are you? Oh, there it is. Did I sew? I don't think I did. Because this is here, I'm just going to press it right now, although we should just be rehooping, but it's already up here. So just going to spray water. You could do best press, whatever you want, but moisture. You want some kind of moisture. All right, I'm going to go in the direction of the strips and be mindful of these pieces. I'm going to press it down the other direction so they don't get pushed back. Okay, how much money have we spent on like super? I'm going to press this way now. Well, you don't want your straight strips to turn into zigzags. So our iron at work was so icky, and I was like, "Oh, Michelle, why don't you grab? You can grab the Bo Nash or whatever you want to grab." And she told me she uses magic eraser. You know, those the Mr. Clean magic erasers. And then she cleaned it, and I was like, and it looks so good. And in the meantime, I've been using, I forget what I used, but literally I'm like, is this giving me cancer? Because it like the fumes from it. Now that these are dry, I'm going to just go this way just to make it a little flatter. So she used a magic eraser and it looks so good. So that's what I'm going to try next time. I like the idea of not breathing all that ick in. And I try to like hold my breath and like step away, and that's why it's important to sew with your boyfriends and girlfriends, right, Michael? Because then you learn stuff. Okay, that's dry, so I'm just going to go ahead. All right. Let me put this out.
Said
Go
he's
ahead.
not learning anything. He's
Did
out,
you say he's not
out,
learning anything?
he's out on my 10 needle.
I know, but you guys learn stuff from each other, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to rehoop because this one's done and it looks so gorge. Fun, right? Yep. We're going to rehoop. So let's go ahead, pull off all our magnets. Hope you're okay from this angle. This just makes I don't have to take it off of my filming arm and put it on my tripod. Okay, literally, I don't know what I did, but oh, you know what I think I did? I think this is what I did. I at one point pulled back my muslin and then I cut right through my batting and my top piece. I flipped it over and I was like, oh, oopsies. And then I just sewed it together onto that other stuff. So make sure that when you do this, you do it right side up, fabric right side up, and you fold this back. You're cutting the muslin. Yeah. I was like, did I really just do that? Good thing I wasn't filming. Okay. Fold back your fabric, fold back your batting strip, and we're cutting the muslin. Here's my ruler by George. I'm going to lay it on here and just slide it back, not too aggressively. And then I'm going to, some of these will work, but like my Martelli doesn't fit over here. And that's why I use my 60 millimeter rotary cutter because it's taller. It's got a bigger wheel from the center, more, I guess the radius from the center is bigger. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead, lean that back a little bit so you're not shaving off the bottom of the ruler. And it's just going to look something like that. Okay. And if you don't have this ruler, just use a regular quilting ruler. Make sure it hangs over a little bit. All right. Guess what? Ready to hoop again. So this one, put it to the side. Grab your hoop. Grab your muslin. This is left over from the other one. I'll use this. You guys have any questions? Does anyone need anything? I love this, that you don't have to have your stabilizer or your muslin like hanging up over the edges. I mean, you know, it's probably going to stay better if you were doing like a heavy stitch count or something like that. But for this, it's just a base. Remember, your muslin is no more than just a base. It is not stabilizer. Like I wouldn't use this as my background, as my stabilizer like in place of a heavyweight stabilizer for my tiling scene. No, I would not do that. But for this, where we have batting, background fabric, a lot of times you have muslin. I'm sorry, SF 101. Want this one a little tight. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this onto my machine. Whoop! Just got hit back on the foot. And let's go ahead and place our next piece. And this will be 2 of 8. And then I'll show you how I trim out the other piece, the inner borders. Here we go. Let me do, this one's done. We are going to do the placement line first. Let me grab my spray box and we're just going to spray the strip. Okay, fabric right side up. Flip it back. Hang on, this is a lot of fabric, huh? Let's clip it. I love the Clover jumbo clips. They're the green ones. I need to get more of those because I leave them on the ends of my muslin too. This is we want to manage this. Okay, let me get some clips. These are like the Nifty Notion ones. Don't put them on the side because it hits like the embroidery arm. I like these too. These are great. I like them because they're a little bigger than the small clover clips, not the minis, but the regular size ones. Okay, flip it back. I guess I should fold it up even more. And then flip this back. And we're going to spray the batting first and flip it forward and spray the background fabric. Spray. About 12 inches. That's all you need. Don't spray the whole thing. It's going to make a big mess. Flip it forward. And this about 12 inches too. All right, let's lay it down. Up, we want to keep this neat and tidy. I'm going to flip it back to lay it down. I'm going to take it over the machine just like this. Okay, about 1/4 of an inch. You can get closer. You can have those this was the green from before. You guys see that? Okay. But I'm just stitching over it. Let's see. I'm probably somewhere between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch. Okay. I'm just going to fold this back towards me. I'm going to lay it down on top of the batting placement line. Let's do the other one. Be gentle. Make sure everything's not like moving around. I'm like 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch. A little more than 1/8 of an inch, less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to take this and fold it down. And this is a little heavy because it's a lot of fabric. So just take your time, be gentle. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip ahead. And I'm skipping the batting, tack down and trim, and the background placement. I'm going right to the yellow there. So I'm in this screen. You have to be here where you go forward and backward stitches. And I'm just going to touch in the blue. And I'm still in the blue. You can do your preview window. You want to make it until you get to your yellow. Okay, I'm in my yellow. Before I start stitching, I'm going to check this fabric back here, make sure it's not rolling under. And I'm going to make sure that this needle is in line with the stitch that I just did, the tack down I just did. I'm going to hand roll. I need some hand cream, huh? Okay, I'm going to scoot it. Ah, that looks pretty good. I think I'm good. I'm good? I'm going to just go ahead and hit start. Looks great. And And you know what we should do? Let's check that batting and make sure it didn't scoot left or right. Don't pull this all the way back because it's it's sprayed down to the batting. But check that, make sure your batting's not twisted. If it is, just get your finger ready to hit your start stop. I'm going to make this a little bit taut because I didn't press it because I'm lazy. Here we go. Ooh, that's lined up so well. I just found it so much easier just lining it up with with the batting. You know what I mean? That to me just made it so much easier. It's like I really struggled with my camera and having the muslin all in one piece. I was like, this is easier. Make sure that back fabric isn't folding under. I'll probably clip it when we do the next grouping. All right, now we're gonna do the quilting stitch. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna trim. Ruler. Here we go. Grab your favorite smaller quilting ruler. I'm going to use this one right here. And we're going to trim these strips that we just did. This makes me angry because it doesn't, I can't zoom on Zoom with with my regular phone, which is what I film from most of the time. All right, we are going to take, whoop! I was precariously tilting my tripod on two of its legs instead of 3. We're going to take this. See how this came undone on this side? So I'm going to cut to this one on the right. This tack down is what you're going to trim to, and you're going to go 1/8 of an inch outside of that. So here's my little ruler. I'm going to line this ruler up. So do you see that? There's the line, and I'm going 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to cut on that whole entire right side. Can I see it better with this? No. All right, so here we go. 1/8 of an inch. What do you do if you get to where the join is and it's way off? I'll show you. I'll show you. And I move my ruler around. So here's my join. So I might go 1/8 of an inch here and 1/8 of an inch here and not worry about where it's lined up in that middle section. So it's a little bit chunkier here. Do you see that? That's more than 1/8 of an inch right there, but that's okay because you're going to be sewing 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to encase that. So you don't have to worry about it if it's not perfect. If you're off like 1/2 of an inch, you need to work on your hooping. Like just don't start stitching if you're like that far off. Like move your fabric, move your stuff around. So
Is
this
the
is
trimming always about 1/2 or 1/8 of an inch from the tack down?
Yeah,
one?
it's going to be an eighth of an inch from the tack down, but I only measure from one. I measure an eighth of an inch from the tack down on one side, and then from this cut edge, I'll measure an inch and a half over to the other side. So
Okay.
it's not going to be accurate if you go eighth of an inch here, eighth of an inch here, go eighth of an inch from one side, and then from this cut edge, measure an inch and a half over to the other side. And then you'll have even strips.
Okay, I may talk to you about trimming because I tried to use the pop rulers the other day and I was just wanting to pull my hair out.
The first time I used my pop rulers, I like threw the, I was like, I used it and I was like, cut, oop, and I cut right into my block. That was a me thing. Like you kind of have to lean into the side and be really deliberate and make sure you're cutting in this way and that you don't go askew. And you got to make sure you have the grips on the bottom so it doesn't slide around and a rotating mat because you're going to just cut, hold the whole thing, rotate, cut the whole thing and rotate.
Okay.
But yeah, they do take a little bit of practice and you have to be deliberate with it and mindful. Otherwise, like my first experience, I was like, this pop ruler is awful. And totally cut into the,
Yeah,
I
because if
used,
I don't get it, I may just do the measurements like the directions say and call it a day.
no, the pop rulers are great because you can like fussy cut to them. So they're great, but I wouldn't give up on them. I gave up on them for a little while and then I pulled them out again. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And so, but things that are going to help are going to be the little grips that you put on the bottom. And I think a rotating mat and a nice sharp blade. Like I find that there's a couple of threads that never cut, but when I have a brand new rotary blade in, they cut beautifully all the way
Okay.
around. But
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
have
give
the
up on it,
grippers.
Heather.
I have the
Heather,
grippers. It's just a matter of, I'm trying to
yeah,
find everything.
don't give up on it. You're going to be great. So I'm cutting the right side on all of these. Oh God, I haven't even been paying attention. Looks like everything's okay over there. So again, I'm going to do an eighth of an inch on this, on the right side of all of them or whatever side, right? I have to do, see this one didn't catch, but I'm not worried about that because I have a stitch that caught all the way over on the right side. And then I'll measure an inch and a half over from here. So let's go ahead and trim all. Okay, and remember, when you have a join and it's not even, just pick a spot here and a spot above an eighth of an inch from here. And don't worry about here. If you're a little close or you're a little far away, it just needs to be somewhere where the quarter inch is going to encase that seam. Let me do my last one and then we'll trim the other side. I don't worry about it being perfect the whole way up. I just will focus on like an eighth of an inch here and an eighth of an inch here, and then I'll just keep moving it up. Although perfect's good. Okay, so these are all trimmed an eighth of an inch on one side. Now I'm just going to flip them. And then I'm going to measure over. Here's my 1.5. I'm just going to put this on my 1.5 mark, and I'm just going to trim this side, and I'm not going to worry about whether the stitch over here is an eighth of an inch. I'm going to worry that my strip is an inch and a half. It might be a little bit more than an eighth. It might be a little bit less than an eighth. See, this is probably a little bit more, but it's gonna be perfect once you sew it in. Okay? All right, that one's done. Oh, I'm done. And here's so I'm not quite like I could fuss and make those like perfectly line up, but I'm gonna put it in there. Is anyone really gonna look at this? I don't think so. So I will trim these later. Let's go ahead and rehoop because we want to be productive. That was 2 of 8. 2 of 8. 2 of 8. I'm gonna lean this back up because I know it'll fall down if I don't. So here it is. I mean, seriously, you can't even really notice where it starts and finishes, right? I could get it a little bit closer together, but I'm pretty happy with that. All right, pull these off. I'm going to move these out of the way because it would be like me to have this be under here and then cut them in half. That would be something. It would be more like me to have it under there and have it do this and then cut it. Haste makes waste. All right, right side up. Right side up. You're going to flip back the fabric. You're going to flip back the batting. I'm going to get my trimmer by George. Where'd you go, trimmer? Where'd I put you? Oh, here you are. And where's my 60? Here you are. I'm just throwing stuff over this side. It's all getting piled on top of it. So I'm going to pull this back just like that. And again, this, like, it's angled so slightly, but that can make the difference between whether you cut through that fold or not. Looks like this. Looks great. And again, if you don't have that trimmer by George, don't worry about it. Just take your ruler, put it on the fold, and then push it to the right a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch past the fold, so you don't have that risk of cutting it. All right, we're cutting ready to go. We're going to hoop, and then we're going to place. And this is going to be hooping 3. So lately, so when we went on our trip, I was like, Patrick was like, let's listen to a podcast. So I Googled best cereal podcast of 2025. And oh my God, there's so many good ones. I can't wait. And like if we weren't stitching together, I'd be listening to one of the they're so interesting. And whatever you're into, right? They have it. And things you didn't even know existed. It's just storytelling. Haven't even been watching TV. You guys know I love TV, right? I have to see who won Survivor. I wonder if that's still going on. Okay, hooped and ready to go. I'm going to slide this onto my machine. Easy peasy, right? It just takes time. It takes time. I did do one like where I sewed everything together, the borders and everything, and then I quilted once it was like even layered and binding was on, because you can do just clear blue tiles, and the clear blue tiles, there's block by block and clear blue tiles and clear. Oh shoot! Hang on.
It's a Zoom, so I can't.
It's live.
Uh-huh. Well, it's
I'm gonna. Okay, we're good. You guys can hear me still? Okay, perfect. I was getting feedback. All right, placement stitch. This is 3 of 8. Do you guys want to stitch it all together? Will that get you to finish your UFO? All right, where's my box? I'll record it. I think I'm gonna need another piece of, here we go. Another piece of, okay, of batting. Right side up. Just remember, right side up. Flip the fabric back. Flip the batting back. See, my batting pieces aren't going to be big enough, so I'm going to lay these down and then I'll put more pieces down. Let me grab some. There's some more. Those look like twos. I remember I used to cut them 2 inches and then I switched to 2 1/4. We'll use this one because it's nice and long. This one is. This I think I had cut for some other project. Had it all wrapped up. All right. Let's open this up too. I'm going to spray the batting, wrong side of the batting. And I'm going to have to put some more down too. I'm going to flip this forward. And I'm going to spray about 12 inches of this. Don't do the whole thing. You'll just have a big sticky mess. I'm holding my breath. All right. Take this over to the machine. And again, I did a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, less than 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, you watch the placement. There we go. You guys see that? Place just like that. I'm going to pull my batting down. And if your grass crisscrosses, that's fine. And if your grass doesn't meet, that's fine too. If your grass is like, your strips are like 1/2 inch away, I think that's a little too much. You want it to be a little bit closer than that. Okay, look, my pieces aren't big enough, so I'm going to spray some of this too and put this down. So here's one strip, feeling for the bumpier side. I'm eyeballing how much I need. And I don't care if I'm like overlap the tiniest bit. I'm going to do the next one. Now, if you're going to be throwing this in the laundry and washing it, it needs to be secure, then you might want to just have full complete strips, or you might want to, you can tape them together. People tape them. You can use like Marty's fusible tape or something like that. Okay, here we go. I did one of these and I forgot to put down the extra batting. So it was empty. I had to stuff a piece up there. All right, now we're going to lay down the fabric. Be gentle. I'm going to just get it underneath the foot. I've already sprayed this. I'm just going to gently push it down. And let's fast forward. So I'm going to say, okay. And I want to go to, oh, and I'm going to roll up the fabric in the back too, but I'll do that in a bit before I start stitching. So we're going to skip the next two colors. So the batting, tack down and trim, and we're just going to skip the background placement. So I'm going to touch right inside the blue, or else, I mean, if you want, I could just keep fast forwarding, but I'm going to touch inside the blue. Look at your screen. Are you still in the blue? Because that's a placement line. You don't want that. We want the tack down. So I'm going to fast forward again, and there's my first yellow. That's going to be my tack down. Okay, I'm going to check my fabric in the back. And I want to check my needle because it should be in line with this. I'm a little bit too far to the right. So I just literally just took my fabric and just pulled it over. I'm going to roll my needle down and just look at it from head on and make sure it's like right in line. I feel like I'm still, oh, what's this? This is too much. No, that's okay. That's not in the way. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you are in control. You can take your fabric and you can scoot it 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Just be mindful of what it's doing to your batting underneath. And that looks good. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Here we go. Let's start stitching. And I'm right in line. Good. See, it's right in line. Looks great. Perfect. Okay, before I start stitching now, I'm going to manage some of that fabric in the back. So I don't want this to get rolled around and flipped under. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to roll it up. Now still watch it and make sure that it doesn't flip under, but I just want to make sure that's not going to roll on me. And we are ready for the quilting stitch. Just go ahead and hit start. And while it's doing the quilting stitch, I am going to finish up my trimming those borders. Looks so cute. All right, let's trim these. You're not going to have a close up, but we're just doing the 1.5 inch from the 1/8 side, from the side that we trimmed 1/8 from that tack down. So now we're not even looking at this because we're trimming from the raw edge, the trimmed edge. I'm just checking on the piece that's embroidering right now and just making sure it's not rolling under on the backside. Looks good. So perfect, 1.5. I have 2 done. These 2. And I'll roll these all up together. How you guys doing? You okay? Hopefully you guys are doing okay. I feel like borders are a good thing to do when you have something else to do too. And I'm just looking at that 1.5-inch line here, making sure it's lining up with my raw edge. And you can see it's a little further away here and closer here, but that's okay because that's all going to get sewn in, 1/4-inch seam allowance. And trash, our last one. I'm just looking right here and focusing that 1.5-inch measurement. Oh my, I've been staying at the store late. Last night I was so tired. I was like, I'm going home. I was so tired. And then I talked to Violet and I got all energized. Does that happen? You talk to your kids and you're like, I got all excited and full of energy again. Looks cute. Look at the join. Looks perfect. All right. I think I'll do one more hooping. We'll do another one. Hi, Judica. How are you? Good to see you. How's the new sewing room? Awesome. And the grandbaby? Awesome. And now you have the holidays. I just, you know what I learned? Like growing up with Korean immigrant parents, we celebrated the holidays, but didn't really celebrate them. And I really learned, like when I had kids, wow, the holidays are all about the kids. And it just became so different once I had my own kids. Just tradition and cutting down the Christmas tree and Christmas morning and letters to Santa. It's just become so magical. Yeah, so Susan, if you look here, we'll sew, I mean, it's going to be right at your seam line, right? But we'll trim an eighth of an inch away. If you want, just to ensure that this gets sewn in, you could go like a scant shy of the eighth of an inch. Make sure that this will go ahead and a quarter inch will go into the bottom stitches. I think if you look at mine, you can see like it kind of rides that edge. I did find too, sometimes like the stitching I felt like pushed my batting, so be mindful of that as well. I did at some point I would take my when it was stitching the bottom half of this, I was kind of like pushing my batting over here to hold it all the way to the right. Like if it's not completely stitched down over there, you might see it bunch a little bit, let the batting bunches. So I did use my little tool like this and kind of hold it over. If you're noticing that, if you're noticing it getting like pushed and bunchy over here, I would kind of use your little stiletto or whatever tool you have to hold that batting over on this side. And you could use a bigger hoop. You could use a bigger hoop and do fewer hoopings. You know, you could use your 10 by 10 or you could use your 9.5 by 14. Do your 9.5 by 14 hoop and put three of these in at a time and just stitch them. You know, you don't have to go as long. Oh, I think you could do with your fabric if your fabric's wide enough. So you just have to be mindful of that too. Okay, gonna do one more hooping. So I'm gonna do one more hooping and then I'm gonna leave you guys to complete the rest because I think you got it, right? You got the process down. Nice, ornament complete. Those are so cute, Miss Susan.
Jeannie, I was
All
just
right.
going to ask the lady that had asked the question about the rule of with George. You
Yep.
need to have the backing and the topping to go in the seams. You don't want the batting. So that's how you cut out
Yes. You
batting.
want to keep, yeah, unless, I mean, you could cut the batting and just lay down a new piece if it's too cumbersome to deal with like a long strip of batting. You can absolutely cut the batting too. You just don't want to cut the top for sure. But yeah, you could cut the batting as well.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of an inconvenience having this like strip of batting continue on. So if you don't want that, cut the batting too. Don't cut the top. So you could cut the batting and you can cut the muslin.
Yeah, no, I meant that if she's doing it all in one piece and we
Yes.
have to cut the strips, then you've got to use the ruler to cut the batting out of the seam.
Oh, I would leave it. I
Oh,
would leave it. You like, you mean like the batting over on the sides and stuff? I would just leave it. It's really, as long as it's not super thick and heavy, I
yeah,
feel like you don't really even notice it. But if you want to cut it out of the seams, you can. I would just personally leave it.
yeah.
But that's me, lazy stitcher.
Thank you very much for all
You're
your help.
welcome.
Uh,
Okay, gonna fold those back. So remember, when you lay it down, right side up. Fold back the fabric. Fold back your batting. Yeah, if it bothers you, if it feels like it's too bulky to have the batting in the seams, like let's say my batting was coming out here of the seams, you're going to fold back your fabric. And if the batting, let's say we were going to you want to cut the batting out, and then you would trim the batting too to get it out of your seams. So I just feel like I've left it in there and it's not that big a deal. But if you feel like it's too bulky and you don't like it, I want you to cut it out. I want you to do what makes your heart happy and makes you pleased with your end product. All right. We're ready. This is done. We've done 3. I'm going to hoop up. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I am going to set you free. Is this big enough? Oh, yeah. Oh. I don't know. I can kind of get it. Let me see if I can get one hooping out of this. Oh, yeah. Good enough. Good enough. I'm going to hold it here. That really is good enough. Even though it doesn't seem like it, right? It's going to, some of the magnet's going to catch, and that's going to be good enough. Where are my magnets? All right. Where are my biggies? Biggies. You're like, you just unhooped. How could you lose it? I was just standing here.
Are they under the rulers? No, the rulers, they're quilting rulers. Are they there?
No.
Huh.
That is, you guys, seriously, that is my hidden talent. I can lose anything anywhere without even moving. But I do have to find 2 more. Not on the
Jeannie?
floor. Yes.
I'm going to go. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thanks for joining. Did you get it all done?
Not all, but I
But
got it.
Yes. And we're, like I
Bye.
said, oh, here they are. They're on my ottoman. Like I said, we're going to try it another way next time. I'm going to play with it first. And then as long as it looks good, we're going to try another way. And you might love that instead.
Okay. Bye.
All right. We'll see ya. All right. I'm going to slide this onto my machine. And let's go ahead and get hooped up. Where's my fabric? Here it is. Here's my big mess. Slide this on. All right. Let's go ahead and do our placement line first. And while it's doing that, I'm going to prep my fabric. Right side up. Right side up. Fold back your fabric and your batting. About 12 inches. I'm going to have to, I should probably have pressed that one more time, but I didn't. I'm going to unfold this a little bit. So I have what? 12 inches. Clip it here. Don't clip it on the sides because that hits the embroidery arm is what I've learned. I'll lay this down carefully so that this fold is open. And you're going to fold this back and we'll spray. And again, if this is too long, I'm going to, because it becomes a lot to manage, right? Just use your clips. These are the jumbo Wonder Clips. I was
Jeannie,
just thinking about it. Yes.
when we're doing the designs, do we need to go all the way to the end of the fabric?
I think I did. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I went all the way. Like I maybe was maybe 3 or 4 inches shy of it, but you could measure and then do the math on it because you're going to have 2 strips. We have it's almost 90 inches. Let's call it 88 inches. And I did the measurements, but I can't remember.
I'm like 2 to 3 inches shy.
Oh, I think you're going to be fine, but I would just do the math first. I don't want to tell you no, don't do it, and then have it, you know. I
Yeah.
want to be responsible, be like, oh yeah, take it out and cut it, and then you don't have enough fabric. So I'm gonna let you be responsible for your math, but I would recommend so 30 inches, give yourself 30 inches. You're gonna have extra on either side, so that's 60 inches. And then you need 44.5 inches on each side. So that's about 90 inches. So one strip is going to be for the sides, and then you're going to have 60 inches that you're going to need for top and bottom. And then, give yourself 2 inches on either side just to make sure you have enough. So do you have to go all the way? That's going to be like, you probably don't. So maybe do the math. And then maybe what I did with 7 hoopings, I might have done 7 and not 8. But I would sit down, do the math, and make sure. But I might have just done 7 hoopings, and that was enough. Okay? But
Okay.
don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to it. Do the math and make sure that. But I can't remember. I can't
Well,
remember
I
if I
usually
did
keep
7 or
the
not.
batting that I can put there, so I'd
Yes,
rather
if you
have
don't.
more than not enough.
Oh, I think if you're like 2 or 3 inches, you got it all done. How did you do it? Am I like so slow? Sorry, guys.
No, I'm
You're just so fast. You're
I'm
like, okay, Cindy kept all of her batting in one piece. So this is probably taking me longer with the strip and laying it down. So, um, give it a go, guys. When we do the Sweetheart Street, I'm going to leave it all in one piece, the batting. And you got to be okay with either using your trimmer by George to trim it out of the sides or leaving it in there. So this is a good example of why you might want to keep it all in one piece.
really and truly, I'm a little bit past half. I'm just putting in the next hoop past half.
Okay.
But it does seem to be faster.
Yeah. I
Just
just was like, was the alignment? I guess you're just going to be using, I guess you can see where it stitches down and you can use that to center it to your batting line, right? Is that what you're doing for placement?
I have one big piece of batting too.
Yes, but I'm just saying, what are you using are you using like lining up with this and just centering it? I guess you could just use that, right? And
I'm
just, you're going to go 1/8 of an inch. Here, I'm going to zoom in. If
I'm
you are not doing the batting strips, you can use the lines here, the tack down, and just go 1/8 of an inch to your placement. And you can just use that for placement. Is that what you're using for
yeah,
placement?
I'm getting as
Yes.
close as I can, and then I'm going and putting my needle down on the start of each one and making sure
Yeah.
they're in the spot.
Yep. So whatever you guys need to do your placement, whatever makes sense to your brain. Sorry, this is all like stuck. Let me pull this down and let me pull this down. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. I know it's a big mess. Okay, I'm centering my batting strip, and that's why I kind of cut it beforehand. And there we go. I'm going to pull him down. Just lay him down. But just imagine not having to do that and just grabbing one long piece and just pulling it down, and it's wide. So you just need to make sure it covers either side, right? So, okay, let me do the other one. Oop, I didn't check here to make sure my spacing. There we go. And when I say my spacing, like the cut of my muslin to the top of the placement line is what I'm really looking at. And this one's a little skinny. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Jenny, why did you say again that you're leaving a quarter of an inch and you're not joining it up because you didn't want it to overlap? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I rather have it be just a little bit further away than like sewn over and not looking great. Like I feel like it's almost more noticeable if your join isn't good than if your join's a little bit separated. But you could just line it up and pull it all the way down if you want. I
Yeah.
want you to do what suits you best. So I want you to play with that as you lay it down because I've done everything where I go right to it, where I'm like too far, to me, just the quarter inch just gives me just enough room and enough give.
Okay, thank you.
But I want you to do what you're most comfortable with because some of you are going to be like, I'm going to like do it so that the start and so it's seamless. I just don't want to have to worry about that being that precise. So I'm just leaving it the quarter of an inch away. Okay, I've got my seam here too, so I want to make sure that it's open when I lay it down. So I'm going to feel for that too. That looks good. Okay. And now I'm going to go to my next step and I'm going to roll my needle down a little bit just to be able to see it. So I'm skipping this blue, and this gold. I'm just going to touch right here. I've got like pieces of batting stuck to me at this point. And I'm going to look in my preview. I'm still on the blue. I'm going to fast forward. And I'm going to fast forward again. And now I'm in my yellow. Okay. Let's see if my needle's in line. And it depends on the angle that you're looking at. So for right now, I can see it looks pretty close. I'm going to hand roll it down because that's going to give me my best view. I'm a little bit to the right. I'm going to pull it over the tiniest bit, and that should be pretty good. Now I'm going to really press this down. All right, I'm good. Let's go ahead and sew. Sorry if you didn't have a great view for that. Whoop! My camera's dropping. That's it. So if you want to keep your batting all in one piece, then just measure like how wide it is from this tack down to this tack down and add like half an inch or an inch on either side. And just keep it all in one piece and then you can just trim it down later. And when you press it, it presses out, it gets flat.
Could I not just trim it out using the trimmer by George?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're just going to fold this back and just put your trimmer by George over that fold line.
Uh-huh. That's what I was kind of thinking of doing. And taking out the muslin.
Yes, trim out the muslin and trim out the batting.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I was kind of thinking of using my 10.5 by 16 snap hoop that just came.
Yes.
But I kind
Yeah.
of, you know what? That's a lot to have to manage at once.
Yeah, sometimes I love this size because it's just I don't know. I do. I love this size. I think I'm gonna use and so I love my snap hoops. I do use my snap hoops mostly for quilting because I like the idea of just like taking off the top and moving my fabric and putting it down. I just don't want to have to be I guess you're just putting it down once. I worry about nudging the top and nudging you know what I mean? Hitting the top because it'd be nice. You know what would be nice? If the snapsuit had a little well. So when you put the top down, it couldn't slide. That would be really, really nice.
You've got the hoop setters when you're putting it in, but they don't stay on while you're sewing.
Yeah. So since they don't stay on and you can accidentally nudge it, that's why I use it for quilting. And I feel like this is more secure for my embroidery. But that's me. Some people use their snap hoops for everything. I'm gonna use it for my quilting kind of girl.
I don't know if you meant like when you're changing it or whatever, but my sister leaves the bottom connected.
Yeah.
And when she was here, the top hoop, she
Yeah.
raised it up over the top of my machine.
Yes. That's what I do too. You just kind of take it off and put it kind of around this, and it just rests up there. Yeah.
And then Becky has you put the plastic in and pull it over just a little bit. And then when you put it down, you line up on the left and then you pull the plastic out in one so you don't get pinched.
Oh, yeah. I just take it and clamshell it, and from about here, just drop it.
I've gotten pinched.
I don't know where my plastic. I feel like you're gonna get a really good pinch at some point, and you kind of learn your lesson. You're like, oh, that I don't want another blood blister, and then you're more careful from then on out. But it's kind of like a rite of passage. A good blood blister from your snap hoop. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna have you guys kind of finish up on your own. I think you got a really good start. That took us what? Is it 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock? I don't know if my clock did its daylight savings. I'm
Mine says 1:55.
okay, so we're about 2 o'clock on the West Coast. So yeah.
9 a.m.
I know. We don't know what's going on down under. But you can just go ahead and I mean, if you have it in you, I would just finish these now. You're in the mode. Just get them all stitched out. I'll probably come home tonight and get these done, because I just find that when I step away, I'm just like not as motivated to get it done. And you're gonna press everything out and just sew it all together as per the instructions. I'll probably film just the stitching of it all together. So if you have any questions, but you are gonna do the very center first. I would just follow the instructions. So what you're gonna do, oh, wrong book. Let's just make sure this is all laying flat. Looks so good. Does that look so good? You're not even going to be able to see where the join is. If I went closer, do you see this is 1/4 of an inch and this is about, I think it's perfect. I think it's just perfect. So first thing you guys are going to do, you're going to sew these sashing strips. So I can't remember if I sewed them. I think I sewed them to the bottom of this, and then sew this together. I honestly can't even remember. But you're going to sew in these sashing strips. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, or it gives you the order. So you're going to sew this one, and then sew it to this, and then this. So 4 that go in the middle section. Then you're going to do the 2 long sides. You're not going to do the top and the bottom yet. You're going to do the long sides, and then you will add the little sashing strip top and bottom. Okay? For the outer border, the outer border wants you to sew the long sides on first, and then you're going to put on the top and the bottom. And then you're just going to bind, and you're going to, however you want to do your back, and then I just stitch in the ditch. It's up to you when you want to put your embellishments on too. A lot of people like to do their embellishments and then layer everything. But I feel like sometimes the embellishments get in the way, and quite honestly, sometimes I forget. I'm like so excited to just get it all done. I just throw it all together, stitch in the ditch, and I'm like, oh, my embellishments. So as far as the embellishments goes, attaching the embellishments, that's going to be on page 11. And I'll try to record everything. But there's the buttons. I already did do some of my embellishments. When I did them, I looked at them and I went, are these going to get in the way when I stitch in the ditch? And then if they didn't, I did do some of them. So some of my embellishments are already on. Any questions?
Thank you, Jeannie.
Well, it's been a pleasure. This will be our last live class. And I'm hoping to see some of you or all of you with mistletoe. And we're going to start that with the prep video on the 18th. I'm going to work
See
really
you
hard
with
this weekend to
mistletoe.
get everyone all your stuff. Yeah, I'll see you for mistletoe. It'll be super fun. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. And I will, this video, I'll send it to you tonight. So I'll get
Okay,
it,
and if you just check then for the other videos, just keep checking to see when
I'll add them. I'll add them, and I mean, I'll post them and I'll add them, and I'll let you know. I'll send you an email as they get
Okay.
posted. All
Yeah.
right.
Hey,
Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye.